The Six Nations, where giants do battle and legends are made. Epic.
The great Muhammad Ali coined the phrase "float like a butterfly and sting like a bee." The modern era heavyweight has a contender that seems to be the epitome of that very phrase. A big man that moves like a middleweight, blistering speed that is proving far too much for those that stand in front of him. Jermaine Franklin, though, is no mug. Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua couldn't put him away. So can the next generation? You're about to find out. This is Fight Night Live on talkSPORT.
I remember sparring him when he was 15. To be fair, that's probably the hardest spars that I had.
I think he's the real deal, Itauma.
It's going to be an exciting ride watching this boy do his thing in the heavyweight division over the next few years.
Hailing from Chatham, Kent, England.
This kid is on fire right now. He's getting better and better.
The best chance of beating Usyk is Moses Itauma.
Moses Itauma!
I like Moses a lot. Moses reminds me of a young Mike Tyson.
Moses Itauma makes it look so easy.
A lot of people are basically just saying like, yeah, I'm gonna knock him out, and like, I probably would.
We're in Manchester at the Co-op Arena for Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin. I'm Adam Catterall. Pleasure as always to be in your company. Alongside me tonight, heavyweight Dave Allen. We've got Spencer Oliver and John Rowland who are going to be calling you through a couple of fights as well before we get to that main event of Moses Itauma and Jermaine Franklin. In a moment or two, I'm going to hand over to that commentary team for our first fight of the night as the fighters are about to be introduced, where we've got Ezra Taylor taking on Willy Hutchinson. But first and foremost, Dave, we're obviously going to be speaking about you, your big announcement yesterday, mate, and a super fight that's coming up in May. But concentrating on the main event, all week we've been hyping up Moses Itauma. As a fighter watching him, what do you see? Are we right to get as excited as we do?
Yeah, it's the next big thing, and I think rightly so. You know, it's not a case of he hasn't beat just journeyman. He's beat a former world title challenger in Dillian Whyte. He's beat Dempsey McKean. He's beat a string of other decent fighters. I think tonight's the biggest test, and tonight will go a long way in telling us if he's actually the real deal.
What does Jermaine Franklin do well?
Everything, really. I don't think he does anything amazingly well. He's super durable. He's got good stamina. He's a good boxer. I don't think he's a great puncher, but I don't think he's a non-puncher. He's pretty much 7 or 8 across the board, but he's super, super tough. He's going to give Itauma rounds. If he doesn't give Itauma rounds, Usyk might as well pack his bags because there's a new beast in town, and I would get out quickly. But Franklin, I expect, will take him the distance.
We'll find out a little bit later on. That's our main event tonight as Moses Itauma takes on Jermaine Franklin. We've also got another fight in the co-main event as Nathan Heaney's in a bit of a crossroads with Jerome Warburton. Right now, though, we've got Ezra Taylor taking on Willy Hutchinson, and all week these two have been going back and forth, little bit of needle. This should be an absolute cracker, Dave.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm actually a great friend of Willy Hutchinson, so it's always an awkward one on commentary, but Willy's a fantastic talent, one of the best amateurs in the world. He was 10 years ago as a youth. I think he's too much for Ezra Taylor, who is a great athlete, powerful, but he's not on Willy Hutchinson's level, I don't think.
Is the key thing for Willy making sure that he fights his fight? Because when we saw him with Buatsi, he got maybe let it get away from him a little bit and he was chasing it down the back end. Is it about establishing himself in these early rounds?
Willy is one of his own. He is, I'm not sure what phrase I can use live on talkSPORT, but yeah, he's a character. It's all about what Willy turns up. The best Willy Hutchinson turns up, I think it's a one-horse race.
Well, there you go. We'll hear more from Dave a little bit later on. Obviously, we'll be talking about his upcoming fight with Filip Bergovic. We are live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel as well. We're streaming there so you can get stuck into the watch-along. But right now, our first fight that we're going to be bringing you live on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube is, of course, Ezra Taylor and Willy Hutchinson. And calling you through this fight, it's Spencer Oliver and John Rowland.
Good evening, everybody, wherever you may be. And our first fight for you here promises to be a really good one. WBA Continental Light Heavyweight title fight. Willy Hutchinson, the Scotsman, the man who's fought at a higher level, if you like, against a bigger, older man in Ezra Taylor from Nottingham, who's undefeated in 13 fights, and he fancies it, Spencer.
Yep, he certainly does fancy it. They both fancy it, actually. Speaking to Willy Hutchinson yesterday, he said he's going to go out there and he's going to pull it on him, and he just started there with a good left hook. So good signs there from Willy Hutchinson, but this one has all the makings of a firecracker.
Willy Hutchinson, who was beaten by Joshua Buatsi in 2024. 3 years before that, lost to the tough Lennox Clark. But apart from that, he's not done too much wrong. Ezra Taylor needs to establish a rhythm early in this fight, I sense. And there's another good left hand from Hutchinson, and then a good stiff, long left-hand lead from Taylor, and another one. He has got a reach advantage, and he'll want to make that tell.
Yep, Taylor needs to establish his jab and establish that early. Willy Hutchinson really is a bag of tricks. He's just switched southpaw. Got good success there as well. Now back in the orthodox stance, boxing on the back foot. Ezra Taylor stalking forward, hands held high. But this is a good start from Willy Hutchinson.
Hutchinson has been keen to say all week that Taylor is not at his level, and he's going to go and prove it and outbox him. But there's a glancing blow with a left hand by Taylor, almost clipped Hutchinson on the way in with a left hook. But Hutchinson boxing nicely as we near the completion of 2 minutes in this opening round of this 10-round clash, and a fascinating one it is.
Good left hook there from Willy Hutchinson again. Ezra Taylor keeping his hands held high. He's trying to get into this one, but hasn't found any sort of rhythm in this first round. As I said, good start from Willy Hutchinson, who just seems to have slipped into gear slightly quicker.
Yep, certainly seems to be the case. Hutchinson, who's been boxing since he was 9 years old, and says that he was fighting and beating men like Ezra Taylor when he was 18, and now he's 27, and he says he'll make no slip-up. There's a nice short left hand inside from Hutchinson. Taylor hasn't really landed anything of note in this opening round as we move into the last 15 seconds of the first.
Yep, it's all Hutchinson in this first round, as you say. John got off with a good shot, body shot went in there as well. He'll be very pleased with this, Willy Hutchinson, as will the corner. We just heard the 10-second clacker go. Round's about to end, and it's been a good one for Willy Hutchinson.
A good one indeed, and let's hear the thoughts now of Dave Allen, seeing Willy Hutchinson start really well.
Yeah, I think the first round there, you can see the difference in experience more than anything else. Willy Hutchinson's come out. Willy Hutchinson's just a natural fighter, a natural boxer. Ezra Taylor a bit more manufactured. Ezra Taylor's everything correct, but it's not really relaxed. Willy Hutchinson was smooth with it, where you can just tell even from where we are. Ezra Taylor carries serious power, serious athleticism. Hutchinson's going to be on his A game, but at the minute, it's hard to see where Taylor's going to have any success at all.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Willy Hutchinson is the proven versus the unproven. A lot of talk around Ezra Taylor, who's been over in America training with Malik Scott, and he's been going through the drills. They said they're going to deliver tonight. We didn't see it in that first round. Round number one to Willy Hutchinson. The experience definitely with him, and he showed it there.
Hutchinson quickly off his stool. Taylor now also advances to centre ring. That's first round going to the Scotsman, Willy Hutchinson. Let's see if Taylor can settle into this one a little bit better now. And a reminder, you can watch along with us ringside here at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester. Head over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel right now to get involved. And later on, our main event, the heavyweight battle between Moses Itauma and Jermaine Franklin.
Yeah, the crowd really getting into this one early. They suspect that this is going to turn into the fight that we all thought it was going to be. Both guys having success here in the second round, and it's been a good start, a better start anyway, from Ezra Taylor, who's found a couple of right hands early.
Didn't he need to? There's a sweet timed left-hand counter from Hutchinson, who's looked very sharp so far. Got his gloves low, inviting Taylor to commit himself. Taylor's a bit more canny than that, but he hasn't really landed punches of genuine note in this fight so far. Aimed a big left hand there, but Hutchinson was able to slip inside it and make Taylor partially miss.
Yeah, Hutchinson just using his experience in there. He's controlling the space at the moment, boxing on the front foot, back foot, switching southpaw as well. Really hard to read in there at the moment, and Ezra Taylor seems to be struggling with that as well. Not really finding his range in there at the moment, Ezra Taylor, not stepping in with his shots, and that's a big problem as Hutchinson lands another couple of good right hands.
Yeah, sweet, sharp shots from Hutchinson, who's switch hitting southpaw and then going orthodox as he is now, and spears Taylor with a left-hand lead. It's a nice, sharp start, this, from Hutchinson. Beat Mark Jeffers in his most recent fight in October last year at the Braehead Arena in Scotland. Won that one in the 7th round. Ezra Taylor undefeated in 13 professional fights to date. And there's a good left hand to the body this time from Hutchinson.
Yeah, brilliant shot that went right underneath the elbow and into the rib cage of Ezra Taylor. But Taylor comes back with a good right hand, and we just see a little dip in the legs there from Hutchinson, who's just seemed to regroup. But definitely the best shot of the fight so far from Ezra Taylor.
Well, he needed something like that to give himself a real foothold in this contest and give him greater confidence. And this has been a far better round in this second than he had in the first. He's been training, incidentally, Ezra Taylor, with the experienced American Malik Scott. I'm sure Spencer will tell you a wee bit more about that at the end of the round. And it looks to me as though Taylor, although he absorbs a good left hand from Hutchinson, good shot from the Scotsman, but that's a much better round from Ezra Taylor.
Yeah, it was a better round for Ezra Taylor. It was a close round, though. Willy Hutchinson come back and landing some good shots of his own, but Ezra, for the first time, seems to be getting into that one, Dave. A better round for Ezra Taylor.
Yeah, it was a close round. I think maybe a Hutchinson round. I think Taylor landed the best shot of the round. Hutchinson is very awkward for someone even with a lot of experience. You're going to struggle with Hutchinson. He does some very peculiar things. Spends some time at the Ingle gym. Taylor's doing all the right things, though. He's keeping his hands high, he's using his jab, he's feinting a lot. He can certainly plunge. Hutchinson, for me, needs to keep his chin down. His chin is going way too high, and you don't want to take these chances with Taylor.
He is heavy-handed, Ezra Taylor. 9 stoppage victories in his 13 wins. He's been a pro since 2020, but he kind of, to an extent, slipped under the radar before he had a very good win against Steed Woodall in October last year at the O2 Arena, prompting Frank Warren's promotional organisation to sign him up.
Yeah, well, that was a good win against Steed Woodall. Malik Scott, as I say, believes in him. Former good heavyweight himself that's turned into a very good trader. And I know they've been going through the drills. Speaking to Malik Scott earlier on in the week, he said this is the launch pad. This kid, this is where he kicks on into world titles in that packed, stacked division in light heavyweight. But this would be a great win if he can come through against Willy Hutchinson. But that's a big if.
Well, in the promotional game of boxing, it's often about having good names on your record. And if Taylor comes through this, then the name of Willy Hutchinson will certainly aid him. Hutchinson now switches to southpaw and lands a couple of decent, fast right-hand leads. Taylor trying to keep his gloves up, pushes the right hand away, the right glove away, and falls short with a left-hand lead of his own. Minute gone in this third round. I gave Ezra Taylor the second round. I got it 1 apiece.
Yeah, that's about right, John. There's been quite close rounds, to be fair. Well, Willy Hutchinson won the first round quite clearly. His second round was definitely closer and may have edged it towards Ezra Taylor, but Hutchinson backing the driving seat here in the third round, bouncing around up on his toes, switching from southpaw to orthodox and landing good combinations.
Hutchinson showing good balance and good footwork as the referee splits them, pushes the 2 men away, and then a really good fast right-hand lead from Hutchinson, which landed flush in the face of Taylor and rocked his head back. And he looks absolutely brimful of confidence here tonight, Hutchinson.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's found his rhythm and he's found his range now as well. Made Ezra Taylor miss there, and he's up, and he's really fancying this, but got a reckless there, missed wildly with a left hook, and Ezra Taylor made him pay.
Taylor clinching on, the referee having a look there and hoping that they're going to split of their own volition, but eventually has to call break. There's a right hand from Taylor, partially blocked by Hutchinson, who responds with a right hand lead to the body and then a left hook over the right hand of Taylor, and that was a scoring shot into the head of the man from Nottingham.
Yep, lovely work there. Willy Hutchinson switching southpaw again, just trying to create an opening. Well, both guys are trying to draw the lead. A little bit of cat and mouse here in this third round.
I think it might be another round for Hutchinson. Attempted right-hand counter from Taylor was sort of parried away, blocked away by Hutchinson, and this is going to be 3 rounds completed, and I'd have it Hutchinson 2 rounds to 1 ahead. But let's go into the Ezra Taylor corner, the blue corner, and hear what instruction he's getting from his trainer Malik Scott.
You hear what I said? Listen to me. You're doing so good with pressing him. Keep pressing him, man, but press him with your lead hand up. When he's there, he go with shots, shoot back immediately. A couple times when he shot and you kind of let him off the hook. When he fire at close distance, fire back. Keep pressing him. Keep pressing him. Don't forget about the cannon. Right. When he going that way, do a feint, then do it. Right. Decoy, then do it. Right. You know what I mean? Very good. You have to feel good. You look good. Very good. Keep being greedy with the jab. The feints is what's disturbing him. Yeah. Put the jab here, jab here, jab here. When he want to get it, pop out with it.
Dave, what do you reckon to those instructions coming from Malik Scott?
Yeah, I think he's saying all the right things. The feints, the jab. Ezra Taylor's got a great jab. He hasn't got the experience of Hutchinson, but he's using the jab to offset Willy. Willy just has to box, has to keep boxing, boxing, boxing. Willy cannot keep going in with his chin in the air, throwing wild shots. All Willy's got to do is box. Taylor has got a very, very, very good jab, though, and that is what's keeping Willy a bit honest at times.
So the 4th round underway, but it's 2 rounds to 1 in Hutchinson's favour. Would you agree with that, Spencer?
Yeah, I think that's about spot on there. Ezra Taylor, there's a nice solid look around his work, working well behind the jab, but Willy Hutchinson has had the better start in this one. Dave Allen's right, though. He has to be careful. He doesn't get overconfident and get greedy and sit in the pocket, because he does lift that chin up, and that may be a problem as he pushes on.
A little bit of reddening around the face of Willy Hutchinson, very pale skin fighter. High forehead, do we call him balding? I think he might be just about. He's, he does show the punches when they land, though.
Yeah, maybe receding might be a better word, but he's yeah, been punch for punch at the moment for the pair of these, jab for jab, and both guys having success here. No one really got this by the scruff of the neck just as yet, but you just suspect someone's going to turn it around at some given point.
Hutchinson, who hails from Carstairs in Scotland originally, Ezra Taylor, a Nottingham man. His fighting nickname is the Cannon, but we haven't seen any real big shots from him as yet. Another couple of fast jabs from Taylor. Hutchinson watching closely, just sways to his left and makes him miss. Hutchinson now fighting southpaw, throws a right-hand jab towards the body of Taylor. It was blocked, and the crowd, well, a little bit subdued at the moment, because this hasn't yet really come alive.
No, it hasn't, but both guys have great boxing IQ, and you just feel that, look, they're trying to set traps, they're trying to outthink each other at the moment, but at some point, as we said, it will catch light. Ezra Taylor's team said they need to go through the gears, they know that. They need to, you know, inject a bit of pace into the fight to win this one. They can't allow Willy Hutchinson to get into any sort of rhythm, and that would be a danger, so expect Taylor to keep pushing on. As I say that, a good 1-2 lands.
See the balding figure of Shelley Finkel sitting at ringside on the far side of the ring, who's been involved in the management of Willy Hutchinson ever since he turned professional following his victory in the 2016 World Youth Boxing Championships, where he took the gold medal. 15 seconds to go in this 4th round, another fairly quiet round. Right-hand lead from Hutchinson, glancing blow, and then tries to turn his lead shot into hooks through a deep decent left uppercut as he came inside there. How did we score that one, fellas?
You missed an opportunity there, talking about balding fellas. I thought you were going to go in on me. that wasn't messing with you. I think Willy Hutchinson, footwork and smoothness, he's looking really, really nice. I agree with what you said a moment or two ago, Dave. Sometimes on his exits, he's just a little bit tall, isn't he? And he's just got to be wary of that because he's boxing beautifully.
I'd like him to get his bald head down. I'd like to get his bald chin down. Do you know what I mean? He's scaring me to death, but he's boxing fantastically well, but Taylor's a good fighter. Hutchinson, apart from his chin there, he's not doing nothing wrong really. Taylor's getting behind that jab, he's feinting, he's being nice and solid. They're both boxing a great fight. It's not the most exciting fight in the world, but it's one I'm really enjoying. It's really high quality stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. 2 rounds apiece for me. I think that Ezra Taylor found his rhythm with a jab there, started getting in, and for the first time in the fight there, I thought Hutchinson started getting a little desperate, a little reckless, and he has to be careful with that. Stick to the game plan.
A couple of lads behind us broadcasting in dark glasses. I think they must be watching you, Adam. As we move now into the 5th round. How did we score that last round, Spencer?
I give that last round to Ezra Taylor. I've got this 2 rounds apiece. It could be 3-1 either way, or if it is, it'll be in Hutchinson's favour. But 2 rounds apiece for me there. A couple of close rounds, but Ezra Taylor had the best round of the contest so far. Found the rhythm with the jab, found the distance, with the jab, and that led off to him landing a couple of good right hands. Can he build on that?
Hutchinson feints to throw the right hand, steps to his right and lands with a left hook as he does so. Tall, lean figure Hutchinson, stands 6'1". Taylor even taller, around about 6'2". And I'm told that Fabio Wardley, scoring this for DAZN, has Willy Hutchinson ahead. Well ahead by 39 points to 37.
Yeah, you can see that. That's what I said. It could be 3-1. It could be 2 apiece. There's a couple of close rounds in there. Subjective scoring. So, like I say, someone really needs to grab this, stamp their authority into this contest. As I say that, Ezra Taylor loads up with a right hand, left hook. Didn't land, but is starting to throw a little bit more meat on the shots.
Is deceptively heavy-handed, Taylor. Doesn't look as though he gets an awful lot on his punches, but you suspect that they're a bit heavier than they look.
Yep, certainly are. 9 of his 13 wins have come by KO, which suggests he can whack a little bit. He sits down on those shots, hands held high there. Hutchinson lands a good combination to the body and head.
Taylor, who says that his lifestyle is the key to his success. He says he really lives the life as a fighter. He's not a party animal. And he's trying to show that he's the fitter and the better prepared for this fight, which is absolutely vital to both careers, maybe more so to Hutchinson than Taylor. If Hutchinson were to lose this, it would be a long way back.
Yeah, it certainly would. Well, it's a difficult road back, but the first loss doesn't mean anything. Can be the moulding of a fighter. Willy Hutchinson is the guy that's had the taste of it. He lost to Joshua Buatsi, rebuilt, had some good wins over Craig Richards, Mark Jefferson. So he knows what it's like to lose. He won't want to lose again here because he wants to get in the mix. As I say, that double jab, right hand lands right in the side of the face there of Ezra Taylor. Good shot from Hutchinson.
Hutchinson just ahead, you suspect, in this 5th round as we move into the last 10 seconds of that round. Pretty close, this fight so far, although Hutchinson, just through the sharper boxing skills, maybe just edging it. And I think his corner and his trainer, Mirko Bulth, going to be fairly pleased with what he's seeing so far. Let's go into that red corner now and hear what's being said to Willy Hutchinson.
Fantastic. Got him 2-3 times already. Very strong. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. I love that. Keep the discipline, yeah?
Well, that doesn't tell us a lot, Spencer, and wasn't helped by our sound man taking about 15 seconds to get his microphone into position.
Yeah,
there we go. There was something being said.
He was a little slow off the mark there, wasn't he? But yeah, he was basically saying he was very pleased with the work. The left hook was working to get the chin down. That was the general consensus of what was going on in the corner there. But most importantly, they're pleased by the way Willy Hutchinson's boxing. And we are as well. We've got Hutchinson slightly up. Is it 1 round? Is it 2 rounds? Still all very much to fight for here as we enter the second half of the contest.
Yeah, I've got Hutchinson ahead. Do you agree with that, Dave?
I've got Hutchinson 4-1 up. I think he's boxing really well. I don't think Taylor's doing anything wrong. I think he's struggling a little bit with Hutchinson's style. Hutchinson's very, very good. Interestingly, Hutchinson, when he goes southpaw, Taylor backs off every time. Every time Hutchinson goes southpaw, Taylor takes a little step. Hutchinson's experienced, so if he ever needs a little bit of a rest, he just turns. There we go. Taylor literally pauses and has a little look. It's an interesting little thing that's happening there.
Taylor doesn't really have that long amateur experience behind him that Hutchinson has, and for him as a pro, this represents a clear step up in class. Is he doing enough to keep himself in this contest? If it is 4-1, then he's going to have to really struggle and dig deep in the second half of this fight now. Where we are, we're into round 6. It's a 10-rounder. There's a scoring left hand from Hutchinson over the top as he ducked low to his right and then short of the mark with a right-hand jab.
Yeah, the general consensus around ringside is that Willy Hutchinson is winning this one, but Ezra Taylor said he knows if he's got to come from behind, he's got it within himself to go through those gears, go through the levels, and like we say, this is a different level for Ezra Taylor now against Willy Hutchinson. Can he do it? We're about to see.
Should quickly bring you a result from earlier on for the IBF International middleweight title, and an upset as the undefeated Sheffielder Shaquille Thompson was stopped in the 9th round by the new key bomb, Brad Pauls, who was behind on the cards, but he put him down twice and turned the fight around dramatically.
Yeah, brilliant win there. And it could be a good win for whoever wins this one, because they will lead on to bigger and better things. A real crossroads fight for both of these guys. Still all to fight for in round number 6. Hutchinson may be just doing enough again in this round, John. He's just getting off with the shots first, and that's the difference between these two, and that comes down to the experience.
Superior boxing skills. There's a good right hand again from Hutchinson. Turned a jab into a sort of clubbing hook, which caught Taylor on the side of the head. Taylor breathing a little bit deeply now, or deeper, I should say, as he's clasped underneath the left arm of Hutchinson. Headlock, and the referee says cut it out.
Solid jab again there from Willy Hutchinson, then moves off the shots, rolls beautifully out the way of them, finishing on defence, landing some good offence in there as well. Jab comes out again. Another great round there for Willy Hutchinson. They'll be very pleased, Dave, in that corner.
Yeah, I think Taylor's really struggling with the southpaw stance. When Hutchinson goes southpaw, Taylor doesn't really know what to do. Hutchinson's jab, he keeps pulling. As Taylor goes to punch, Hutchinson keeps pulling and throwing the jab over the top of Taylor's jab. Hutchinson, a bit too experienced, a bit too fast, and now Taylor's hand positioning is starting to go a little bit awry. I wouldn't be surprised now if Hutchinson starts to up it. Taylor's hands are starting to fall down towards his chest a little bit. He could get pretty hard for him from here on out. I'm going 5-1 down.
Don't forget, you can watch tonight's action live only on DAZN. Head over to DAZN.com/boxing so you don't miss a thing. It's Hutchinson away here now, Spencer, as Taylor got to find knockdowns.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure he's got to find knockdowns, but he is behind, and he's going to need to get a couple of rounds in the bank to close the gap here. You suspect another good round here from Willy Hutchinson, and then it will be starting to get desperate for Ezra Taylor. Now, look, he told us he can go through the gears. He's been talking about it all week. We've seen nothing to suggest he can at the moment. A little one-paced, and Willy Hutchinson is like a box of tricks, switching from orthodox to southpaw. Just done it in the centre of the ring again, and Ezra Taylor doesn't know what to do with him.
No, he's not really coping very well with the questions which are being set by Hutchinson, who now reverts to the orthodox stance and skips away, making Taylor come after him, and he plods forward, and there's no great subtlety in the footwork. He's not cutting the ring off as well as you would wish, and he's speared again by another scoring headshot from Hutchinson. I've got it 4 rounds to 2 in Hutchinson's favour at this stage.
Yep, that's about right. That's what I've got it as well. Could be 5-1. You know, Dave Allen has got it a lot wider than we have, and I think some of the people at ringside have as well. As I said, the difference is class here. Willy Hutchinson leads with a left hook to the body. Taylor comes back with a jab. Hutchinson slips back and lands another good jab of his own, and that's the difference in this contest. At the moment, Ezra Taylor doesn't know what to do with him.
Well, Hutchinson doesn't really have to be too smart with his defence, does he? He's just watching him, and Taylor coming in predictably, and at times Hutchinson, with his gloves held low, is contemptuously inviting the Nottingham man in, but Taylor, by and large, is not really getting close. He's winding up and loading up on his shots, but he's not connecting with anything worthwhile.
John, he's not committing himself at the moment. That's because Hutchinson is oozing confidence, switching from orthodox to southpaw, moving around the perimeter of the ring, and he's in his complete comfort zone in there at the moment, like he's having a little sparring session. He's controlling the space, he's controlling the pace of this contest, and Ezra Taylor looks out of sorts.
Well, Hutchinson said that he was going to make this a difference in class, that he was going to outbox him, and thus far in this fight, that's precisely what he's done. He looks accomplished, he looks composed, and he's racking up the rounds, and it looks as though he may be taking another one here. There's effort from Taylor, but so many of his punches are being taken on arms and gloves by Hutchinson, who forces his man back with a short, straight, sharp left hand.
Yep, 20 seconds to go of round number 7, and you're right, John, there is effort from Taylor, but he's not committing himself. He's throwing the 1-2s, but holding his feet still, falling short, and Willy Hutchinson's just swaying back and coming back with shots of his own. That's because he's controlling the space of this contest, and Ezra Taylor hasn't got the confidence to commit right now.
No, he's being outboxed, short and simple, and I've got him now 3 rounds behind. Let's go into that Taylor corner and hear how Malik Scott can maybe shake him up.
Fucking hard to be in here looking at him waiting. I gotta beg you to throw, watch this for a second. I gotta beg you to throw more than one fucking punch. I shouldn't let your hands go when you get up on it. Go with the fucking, what we got the cannon for? Let it go over the top and bring 3 or 4 shots behind it. What are you hearing now? You're sitting there just looking at it. Keep the feints going, look active. Let your jab get to him. When you get to him with the double jab, go with the overhand, then the liver shot. Whenever it is you give that ground up and he go, use it as an invite to then go. You're letting him get those little cutie pie shots off without firing back.
Well, I think you get the message there. Sorry about some of the language, but he's right.
I think this fight was lost 2 or 3 rounds ago when Willy Hutchinson took the jab away from him. It's all right saying let the backhand go. How can that land without the jab? It's desperation time now. Willy Hutchinson took the jab away, they're turning the southpaw, the switch hitting, the lateral movement. He took the jab away from Taylor. Take the jab away, take everything else away. Taylor needs a desperation, big lucky shot here. He's getting outboxed.
He's got to take all 3 rounds remaining at very least, and may well need a knockdown as well if he's going to win this one. Ezra Taylor, disappointing for his many Nottingham fans, but as Dave Allen told you there's been a little bit of a gulf in class.
Yep, it was his coming-of-age fight here, Ezra Taylor, the launch pad into the big-up fights in this heavyweight division, and you heard Malik Scott there. To say he was disappointed is an understatement, but what he was saying was right. What are you doing? Come on, you're sitting there, you're looking at him too much. Commit yourself, step in with your feet. You can't just throw the right hand backhand without stepping in with a shot. Lands a good left hook there, though, but Ezra Taylor, Willy Hutchinson comes straight back.
Yeah, he caught him with a left hand almost simultaneously, and there's a good right hand from Hutchinson as well. Led off with the right hand and turned it into a clubbing overhand blow, and although Taylor is trying to force the action back, there's no shortage of effort from Taylor, but technically just not good enough to land good scoring shots.
And I think that's what it is, John. You know, we're talking about this. Ezra Taylor, you say, like we say, with not much amateur experience, he's learned the trade pretty much in the professional ranks, and he's done everything good so far, but never competed at this level. Dave Allen pointed out one of the best Scottish boxers ever as an amateur, and he's a good pro as well. Only 27 years of age, Willy Hutchinson, and this is a great performance. He's controlled this from the opening bell, and he's in complete control, actually enjoying himself in there at the moment.
The fight he wants, if he could get it, Willy Hutchinson, I suspect, would be a Joshua Buatsi rematch. If he'd fought like this against Buatsi, it might have been a different story. There's a good right hand from Taylor, but it's a single shot, no sustained pressure from the taller Nottingham man.
Yep, switches southpaw again there, Willy Hutchinson. Hands down by his waist. Ezra Taylor, hands held higher, throwing the right hand to the body again, not stepping in with his feet, showing no confidence at all. He's in his comfort zone in there, Willy Hutchinson. And by the way, John, you mentioned Joshua Buatsi. Willy Hutchinson said, come through this, and that's the guy I want next. Still a couple of rounds to go here, 3 rounds to be precise. Well, coming to the end of the 8th. But if he wants to do that, all he has to do is stay switched on, and victory should be his.
Well, a lot of people would like to see that Buatsi fight again. Hutchinson was floored in the 6th round and the 9th round of that fight, which Buatsi won by a split decision. Good effort in this round by Taylor, but maybe not enough. Adam Cattrall.
No, I don't think it is. I think right from the get-go, Willy Hutchinson has established this type of fight, and that's the type of fight that we're dancing. There was a moment there in that last round where Ezra Taylor just started to turn up the heat. Willy just met him. He met him face to face and pushed him backwards, and he just dominated that round. Absolutely sensational. Before I hand back to the boys, there's 7,000 of you watching with us currently on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. You've been getting involved with the poll ahead of the main event, which is still to come. 86% believe that Moses Itauma is going to win. We need to put another poll up there. How quickly is he going to win? Maybe is the next question that we could chuck up there. Let's have some round predictions on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. We've still got Nathan Heaney to come in a bit of a crossroads fight, but right now there's only a couple of rounds remaining between Willy Hutchinson and Ezra Taylor, and Ezra Taylor needs something special.
If you look at the bookies, I think all the suggestions are that Itauma, again, is going to win, and going to win spectacularly, and the popular bet is that he's going to do it inside 3 rounds.
Absolutely, I think that as well, John. But listening to Fabio Willy earlier on, he said he's been a main sparring partner in a couple of his last fights in the build-up. He said you can hit him with anything, a sledgehammer. He smiles and says he's okay, and he thinks that he goes the distance with Jermaine Taylor goes the distance with Moses Itauma. Let's see how it goes. I think he wins by knockout. That's soon to come, but right now Willy Hutchinson controlling this fight against Ezra Taylor with 2 rounds to go.
Yep, Moses Itauma against Jermaine Franklin is our main event coming up later on here with this. Well, we've got a 3-2-1. This is the 3rd fight. Willy Hutchinson surely is ahead against Ezra Taylor. Nathan Heaney is coming up in our next fight, and a lot of popular support for him. And then our main events, the one people have been talking about all week, with this prodigious young talent, Moses Itauma. How spectacular is he going to look? And I'm told that Jermaine Franklin, I know he can be resilient, but he's not looked great in sparring.
Well, I've seen that sparring, and yet he can be hit, and that is the big problem for a young, spiteful heavyweight who people are talking about being the next heavyweight champion of the world and possibly the next undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But there's a long way to go. Jermaine Franklin is that test. It gives us a good yardstick. And right here, back in the ring, Willy Hutchinson still controlling this one. Dave Allen, I'll bring you in on this here. What does Ezra Taylor have to do, or can he do anything to turn this around?
I don't think there's much he can do at this point now. I don't think he's got the experience. The fight was pretty close through 3, maybe 4. I had Hutchinson, I think, 3 up after 4, 3-1 up. But as soon as Hutchinson took the jab away, it was effectively over as a contest. I know there's still a round and a minute to go, but as soon as he started the lateral movement, the switching of the stances, Taylor got a little bit lost, really. He's never faced anyone of this caliber before. He's never seen anyone with this kind of it's not one style. It's about 3 or 4 different ones in 2 different stances. Taylor's run out of ideas. It was the jab that was making the fight close, and Hutchinson took the jab away from him. He's just too good for him.
Hutchinson's too canny to go looking for a knockout and to get himself suckered here, get himself drawn in and allowing Taylor the opportunity to land one huge shot. But Taylor doesn't really, in this fight, look as though he's got the sort of power to turn the contest around in that manner. Good right hand from Hutchinson, and then blocks the right hook attempted counter from Taylor. Hutchinson boxing neatly, boxing effectively as they move into the last 10 seconds of this penultimate round, a fight that is surely cruising along through his boxing ability towards an emphatic victory.
Yeah, another dominant round there from Willy Hutchinson as he walks back to the red corner, his own corner, with his hands raised in the air. Only 3 minutes to go now. Let's get in the corner of Willy Hutchinson right now and hear what the trainer's got to say.
Breathe long. Last round. Put them together. Don't load up. Bop, bop, bop. 2, 3 hands. Bop, bop, bop. Out. Bop, bop, bop. Out. Okay? Very good, Willy. These are your belts. You need to put everything into that round, huh?
Yeah,
but
they're
don't be
your
careless.
belts, and it's what we were saying. Bap, bap, bap. Don't go in there looking for big punches. Just box your way through. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're on your way to a very comfortable win, which has been looking that way for a long time.
Yeah, John, one thing you can't do is buy experience, and Willy Hutchinson's got that experience. He's not stupid. He won't take it. Dave Allen said it there. He's doing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to look for the knockout here, son. 3 minutes, and you've got this in the bag. Willy Hutchinson, well in front. Ezra Taylor needs the knockout.
He's got to gamble. He's got to find it. Otherwise, this contest is going the way of Willy Hutchinson, the 27-year-old Scotsman, and he lands a couple of sweet counters as Taylor came charging in, landed 2 nice sharp left hands, and Taylor aims another big right hand, wild overhand swing, and he's caught again, this time by a short right hand. And Hutchinson keeping his shape so much better, keeping his balance better, so that when he does make a scoring shot, the effect is so much more telling.
Yep, he does, John, but with 2 minutes 15 seconds to go on the clock, Willy Hutchinson, I'm talking about him playing it safe, getting through the round, has decided to take the fight to Ezra Taylor, which gives Taylor an opportunity. Dangerous tactics, you might think there, Dave.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be doing it the way he's doing it. I think I'd be in the southpaw stance, I'd be circling the ring and lots of feints, and he's just well in control, you know. He's just by far the more experienced, better fighter of the two. I think Taylor's actually a very, very good operator. I think on a different night with a different fighter, Taylor could compete with some very, very good fighters, but he's never ever seen this before. He doesn't really know what's going on.
He may be able to come back from this, Taylor, and he might be a better man for the experience, but he's just not thrown enough leather at any stage of the contest. He's been a little bit one-dimensional, a little bit one-paced, and Hutchinson has made him pay.
Yep, he certainly has been dominant, really, from the opening bell. I've got him 6 points up after this if he comes through this round, and I think he's going to do that okay as Ezra Taylor pushes forward, looking desperately for that right hand, but he just can't find it, John.
He's looking for speculatively big shots. There's a clinch centre ring. Referee's going to have to split them, and does. He's aiming to throw the big right hand, Taylor, but he's not able to find the contact. There he gets in with a right hand into the body of Hutchinson, who's again got his gloves low, inviting Taylor in. And now there's little more than 30 seconds remaining in this contest, and Willy Hutchinson on his way to an important victory in this, the 22nd paid contest of his career.
Yeah, Willy Hutchinson now bouncing around, up on his toes, switching from orthodox to southpaw, slamming the jab in Taylor's face. Taylor throwing shots, but hitting thin air in there. I think he knows his beat as we hear the 10-second clacker. Willy Hutchinson controlling the space again. Lovely jab, runs around the ring with his hands in the air, and this one is all but over.
He knows he's won it. He celebrates. He takes a little congratulatory pat to the body from Ezra Taylor. Willy Hutchinson is smiling, waving to all corners of this arena, which incidentally is filled by a very big crowd tonight. There must be at least 15,000 people in here. But Willy Hutchinson now congratulated by Taylor's experienced trainer, Malik Scott. And he boxed very well, Dave.
Yeah, there's too many levels apart in experience, ability, just everything. Willy Hutchinson's a very, very, very good fighter, very good. He's awkward, he's very much like an old England style fighter. He can switch, he's got great reflexes. I don't think he's the biggest puncher in the world, but he's pretty much got about everything else you can have. Very, very good fighter.
He was based up in Sheffield, of course. Dominic Ingle had a big effect on his fighting style.
Yeah, he's just so awkward and elusive. He's got great reflexes. He's got a great jab. He's got a very, very good IQ when he's in there. He knew to switch. He tried it a few times. You saw that going southpaw, gave him a little bit more time, and he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
Spenny, I've got it 8-2 in Hutchinson's favour.
Yeah, I'm with you, John, and that might be being generous to Ezra Taylor, if I'm totally honest, because, you know, we went a couple of rounds at the beginning of the contest to Ezra Taylor, which were tight rounds. Dave Allen actually went the other way, and so did a lot round ringside. So, look, whatever way it is, I think it's a wide decision for Willy Hutchinson there. It's levels to the game, and we just found that out. Ezra Taylor, you know, you look at his amateur pedigree, which is pretty non-existent, learned the game in the professional ranks, is a solid prospect. He can go away and come back a better fighter, but I think, Dave, the wider question here is, where does Willy Hutchinson go if he comes through that one? Is it a rematch with Joshua Buatsi he'll be chasing?
Yeah, I think he could put Willy in with anyone. I think he could literally box anyone everywhere in the world, he can problems. Anyone at all, whether he can beat the very top ones if he hits hard, I'm not too sure, but he's capable of holding his own with anybody.
Adam, we're coming up now towards the verdict. I think we're going to get it fairly soon. I can see Thomas Treiber up there is poised to deliver that. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Bensei Kovac scores it 99-91. And both judges, Steve Gray and Jean Robert Lane, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 98-92. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And now the WBA Continental and WBO Global Light Heavyweight Champion, Willy the Hunchtrain Hutchinson.
No surprises, everything in line with our scorecards here at ringside. Hutchinson didn't get out of second gear. He was absolutely fantastic. Feet, IQ, reflexes, you name it, he's got it. He's a box of tricks. I'm sure Ezra Taylor will come again. Lots to learn for him in that particular fight, but congratulations to Willy Hutchinson, who gets the job done. Still to come, we've got Nathan Heaney against Jerome Warburton, and then of course the main event, the reason why we're all here in Manchester, rescheduled from January following an injury, Moses Itauma, Jermaine Franklin. It's coming up on Fight Night Live.
what do we call him? A character. He's a character. Yeah, he's an absolutely brilliant fighter. And he's a top bloke. You know, he's done the job. So congratulations and let him enjoy it, I guess.
And in commentary there, yourself and Spencer were having a little bit of a chat about that. With the way that this light heavyweight division is actually shaping up, we've got a great fight coming up in a couple of weeks with Callum Smith, haven't we, with David Morrell? That'll be an absolute banger. We're anticipating maybe part 3 between the two big boys of Viterbi and Bivol, if they can finally agree something there. He's probably in that chasing pack of best of the rest. Now, obviously, he's been in with Buatsi once. It didn't go his way. Buatsi's been in with Smith. It fell off. I know that all this boxing math doesn't necessarily work, but it might work that now as a rematch off the back of a couple of good victories for him.
Absolutely, you know, they're both coming, you know, they're both on a rebuild, really. You know, Willy Hutchinson now is very much rebuilt. You know, that was a good win for him. You know, that was springboarding up into the bigger names. Joshua Buatsi needs somewhere to go, so that's an obvious fight. You know, you've got people like Anthony Yard that's coming off the Benavidez loss. You stick him in the mix as well. There's some great names there. You know, don't forget about people like Dan Aziz and, you know, all those sort of fighters. They're good fights to have because it's all about the development for these younger guys. A lot of people forget about Willy Hutchinson only being 27 years of age. Yeah, he lost to Joshua Buatsi, you know, in a disappointing performance, but he's rebuilt. He's come back. That may have been the moulding for him, the kick up the backside that he actually needed, because he's looked sensational against Mark Jeffers in knocking him out in 7 rounds, and he looked brilliant there against Ezra Taylor, and many people thought he was the underdog, apart from himself and his team, going into that one, but he showed there's levels to the game, and this kid has got a bright future for sure.
There's a reason why it's called boxing and not knockout or something, isn't it? You know, because he does have the skills to tie quite a lot of these light heavyweights in knots.
Yeah, I think Ezra Taylor, in which one a little bit more textbook, will give anyone all the trouble they can handle. He can certainly punch, he's powerful, he's fit, he's strong. But Willy Hutchinson's a nightmare for anybody. I would put him in with any light heavyweight in the world, and he'll give him problems. Can he beat Viterbi? Can he beat Bivol? I'm not so sure. But he'll certainly give him a lot to think about, and he can certainly beat 99.9% of the rest as well.
Well, we've got a good stable of light heavyweights in Great Britain. Obviously, as I mentioned there, in a couple of weeks, we've got Callum Smith back in action in that fight with David Morrell. There's plenty of fighters that Willy Hutchinson can get in with. And obviously, he's talking about world honours there. I think Dave's right in what he's saying. The top 2, I don't think any of them touch the top 2. They're just on a different planet for Viterbi and Bivol. But he's amongst that chasing pack. It's going to be interesting to see what they do next. He's got bags of personality, and the kid can box, absolutely. We've got more fights still to come for you here on talkSPORT. In a moment, we're going to have Nathan Heaney and his army of Storkies singing the Delilah as he makes his way to the ring against Jerome Warburton. And then obviously the main event is Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin. Without any further ado, seeing that we've got Dave Allen alongside me, we might as well talk about the fight that you announced yesterday, mate. Absolute blockbuster with Filip Hrgovic, exciting a lot of the fight fans, and obviously an opportunity for you, after a fantastic career so far, to go and fight in Doncaster, mate. Is that the biggest thrill of it? I know it's a great opponent, massive ranking, big opportunity for you, but it's the big thrill being able to do this in Doncaster for the home fans.
It's the proudest moment of my life. I'm bringing a bona fide world-class heavyweight. Filip Hrgovic is rated, he's number 4 with the Ring Magazine. He's the 4th, he's the 5th best heavyweight on the planet. I'm bringing him to Doncaster. He's coming to Doncaster. I don't know where he's going to stay in Doncaster, but I reckon it's going to be a shot to his sister when he gets there. Yeah, the overriding emotion is pride. I'm so proud to arguably the biggest sporting event in Doncaster's history, and it's me, a little scruffy kid, and I was scruffy and all. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't even box when I left school. I was just the most average kid you've ever seen, and I'm bringing Filip Hrgovic to our local football ground. We're going to pack it full of other Donny people. It's going to be full of Donny. I'm trying my best not to swear, and we're going to absolutely have it with him, and I cannot wait.
Well, you've done it in an authentic way. I know that you're being self-deprecating there for yourself, mate, but you've done it in a very authentic way. I think people see a lot of honesty in you. You've obviously talked about your flaws, you've talked about your success. All those things have come to this big pot. And now, like you've just mentioned there, what an opportunity to... listen, yeah. Doncaster's got a footy team. It's got a big rugby heritage in that town as well. But to be able to bring boxing, and like you've just said, a bona fide top 5 guy in the world to compete against, I mean, that's as big as it gets.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. I've not done it on my merit with boxing either. I'm a good fighter, and against Filip Hrgović, I want to show everyone what I'm really all about, because I know that I'm a very good fighter. Am I going to be a top 5 guy? We'll find out, but we're going to get the best of me. But I've not done it on my merit from the boxing. People have really got like an affinity with me. We're selling 5, 10, 15,000 tickets to come watch me as a bloke, and that means the world to me.
But in the past, I mean, listen, let's go back a few years. You've been in with the likes Ortiz's and all these types of guys, you know what I mean, that were maybe top 5 at that particular time. And there's been a lot of work there that you've put together, a lot of experience that you've gained. What have you gained during those periods of time, in those big monster fights? Maybe some of them didn't go your way, but what have you learned that you can maybe implement in this one with Filip Hrgović? Because his pedigree as an amateur's bang on, his pedigree as a pro's bang on. There's going to be, you've just been speaking experience a lot in the fights that we've just been watching here. You're going to need that experience, aren't you, in this fight with him?
Yeah, I've watched Luis Ortiz. I believe he was the 3rd best heavyweight in the world. Now I was a 24-year-old fat little novice who a couple of weeks to train. But I've only had 10 amateur fights. And for me, early on in my career, I let that get the better of me. I used to talk myself out of fights I could have won. Even against Makhmudov, I talked myself out of it. I can't beat Makhmudov. Against Filip Hrgović, I'm not the most confident guy in the world, and I'm not the biggest talker in the world. I never talk myself up. I honestly believe I will get Filip Hrgović to Doncaster, and I am going to really, really shock him and shock the boxing world. And I don't talk like that. I've got a real confidence in me. My weight is down. The training is proper, and I have a real fire in me, a real belief. Down in Doncaster, in front of my own 10,000, 12,000 people in Doncaster, I don't think I'll get beat.
Is the you're talking about a fire there, right? And obviously we spent a lot of time with you over the last few years. You are talking in a way where there's a new fire burning. Is it because it is in front of your people that see you on the street when you're walking down to the supermarket and all that type of carry-on?
I've never been the kind of guy. I'm a fighter. I'm tough and game and whatever. But I've never really had the fire in me. I'm not really. You know me away from the boxing. I'm not a fighting bloke really. I'm a very normal bloke. I'm not in any way violent or a scrapper. But the Filip Hrgović fight in Doncaster, makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I cannot wait to get my hands on him.
You've got the perfect partner to be working with in the gym as well, with the likes of the Pat Browns of this world, who's obviously got that amateur pedigree, who can whack a bit as well himself. I know that obviously he's currently fighting at a weight division below, but I would imagine that Pat at some point will go up to heavyweight. So the work's there. You've got a fantastic corner, you've got a fantastic sparring partner, and the way you're talking, the mind's in the right place to be doing this at this particular time.
Yeah, I believe in myself. I watched Willy Hutchinson there. I was a product of the Ingle gym years ago. 2008 I started. I can box. I am going to box Filip Hrgović, and then I am going to beat him up, and I'm going to beat him. And I never talk like that. I am bang up for it. I've never been more up for a fight in my life. This is the be-all and end-all. The Dave Allen story, it will all ride on this one night. And I want to give everything I've got. I'm very confident I can win the fight. Whatever happens, I am having it. DN12 style, believe me.
May 16th in Doncaster. Listen, the way that he's speaking about it there, I know that he's buzzing because he's doing it in front of his own people against a major top fiver. But the way he's speaking there, it's what boxing's all about. These type of stories, these type of fights.
Listen, he was speaking with passion, and that's difficult to beat. When someone's got passion, you know, that home advantage, boxing in Doncaster, a childhood dream, all of that sort of stuff, you mix all that into the pot, and you become a difficult guy to beat. Dave Allen knows what's in front of him. Dave Allen knows he's going to start the underdog against a world-class heavyweight who was a world-class amateur as well. But this is about opportunity and how you take that opportunity. He had it once against Makhmudov, and there were moments in that fight when he could have had Makhmudov but didn't believe in himself. You grow from that as a character, as a fighter. You know, I'm talking about past experiences, so I know where he's been, where he's at. the way he was talking there, I was counting the amount of times where he was getting so emotional that he was going to use language that maybe we're not allowed to use on the radio, and then I run out of time, I run out of fingers basically, and that was passion. Dave Allen wanted to say it in a, you know, this guy wants it, and when someone wants it that badly in front of their home people, Filip Hrgović cuts up. In recent times we've seen him cutting to pieces a lot. He's not hard to hit. He will come forward, stand in front of him. You know, that chaos creates opportunity, and that opportunity will be there for Dave Allen, I'm sure.
Well, we're just going to break away from talking about, obviously, that fantastic fight for Dave that's coming up on May 16th. A couple of weeks prior to that, on May the 5th, we've got an absolute firecracker for the heavyweight championship of the world. We've got two guys actually in the ring right now that are just facing off. They'll be back in this ring, like I said, on May the 5th to face each other for the WBO heavyweight championship of the world. Fabio Wardley and Triple D, top boys, in together at this stage in their lives, because they're still young lads. I mean, Fabio's what, early 30s, Daniel's obviously coming up now to being in his mid to late 20s, but there's still bags of time left in their careers. It's brilliant that we're getting it right at this moment.
Adam Catterall, we're being spoiled with heavyweight fights that are coming up in recent weeks. You know, this one going on in May the 9th, for me, is the best heavyweight fight out of all of them, the most competitive fight out of all of them. We've got Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder next week, Tyson Fury, Makhmudov the week after that, Alexander Usyk against Verhoeven the week, May the 23rd. We are spoiled with heavyweight fights right now, but this one is the one that's a difficult one to pick.
When you sometimes get two big lads like that with that amount of power on shore, you sometimes get a little bit of a blinking contest. Who's going to go first? Everybody's fainting and not much action. I can't really imagine it in that one.
I think Fabio Wardley will fancy walking through Dubois. I think Wardley will fancy
taking the power.
Dubois won't take what he will give him, but he will take what Dubois will give. I think Wardley thinks he's the tougher. Definitely thinks he's the tougher. He thinks he's going to break Dubois' heart, and I don't think Wardley will care what's coming back.
Risky game that though, isn't it? Especially with the power that Daniel Dubois got.
But if Wardley beats Dubois and does it in that fashion, his box office.
Oh, absolutely. And then absolutely deserves himself a shot at the king of this division, and fingers crossed that gets made as well down the line for Fabio if he is successful. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves because that's an absolute belter of a fight coming up on May the 5th, and hopefully we'll get to bring that to you here on talkSPORT as Fabio Wardley defends his WBO championship against the former champion Daniel Dubois. Thomas Tribe is in full floor right now because our co-main event are about to make their way to the ring. We've got Jerome Warburton taking on Nathan Heaney. We're in for a proper sing-song in a moment when Nathan Heaney makes his way to the ring. Spence, Jerome Warburton, we've been across him throughout the course of the week. This is a young man that has tasted British Championship level and just fallen short against Kieran Conway. This is a big night for him against the former British champion in Nathan Heaney.
It is, and it's what he's learned from that defeat. You know, Kieran Conway's a tall guy, very heavy hands, very persistent in his work, you know, and so, look, he fell short that night. That was his first taste at that level, and he gets another taste now against the former champion in Nathan Heaney. You know, Nathan Heaney has, you know, not looked for the best in recent times. You saw the fights against Brad Paul. The first fight was an absolute barn burner. They drew that one, and then he got stopped in the return there. So is there a slight decline here, and is it the right time for Jerome Warburton? And that is what we're talking about right here. Nathan Heaney, one of the best ring walks in the game, and we're going to see that again tonight. But what a fight we got here. Is it a changing of a baton time?
Well, I'm not going to deny you this. If you listen to us on talkSPORT or you're across us on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, here he comes, and here comes Tom Jones.
I crossed the street to her
boxing, the Hall of Boxing, and he's milking the living daylights out of it. With that Magnum PI tash blazing across his top lip. Here he goes again. She stood there laughing. I felt the knife in my hand and she left no more. Passes around left-hand side. Dave, you're going to have to plan something big for Doncaster, man. Something like this. This is what we need, a little bit of a sing-along on the way in.
If what I've got planned with Doncaster comes off, it'll be the greatest ring walk in history.
Love it. Heaney's in the ring. The crowd are absolutely revved up. This is big-time boxing on talkSPORT. It doesn't get better than this. It's your co-main event. And here's Thomas Triber to introduce.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds. And it will be for the vacant WBA Continental Middleweight Championship. Brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry, along with their great sponsors. Unibet, That Prize Guy, Riot Season, 32 Red, and Global Next Trade. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, Suzanne Potts, along with the World Boxing Association. President, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor, Mariana Borisova, Timekeeper, Phil Morris. The judges are Howard Foster, Bensei Kovac, and Jean Robert Lane. Our referee in charge will be Bob Williams. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing black with silver and weighed in officially at 159.3 pounds. Coming to us from Colwyn Bay, Wales, he brings a professional record consisting of 16 wins, 2 defeats, 2 draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former Welsh champion, Jerome the Bread Maker Warburton. And his opponent across the ring in this co-main event, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black with red and white and weighed in officially at 159.7 pounds. Hailing from Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England, he has a professional record of 19 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw. 6 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British champion and former WBA and IBO Continental champion, Nathan the Hitman Heaney.
Okay, gentlemen, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times, touch gloves.
The atmosphere in here is absolutely electric. Still to come, we've got Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin. But this is your co-main event with Nathan Heaney taking on Jerome Warburton. We're live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Make sure you tune in to the watch-along. Calling you through the action, it's Spencer Oliver and John Rowling.
Jerome Warburton, the Welsh southpaw, facially looks more than a little like Chris Pyatt. Good light middleweight and middleweight of years gone by, who hailed from the Leicester area. Here tonight, he's up against Nathan Heaney in his 22nd pro fight. Just a feeling that Heaney might have peaked, and he said already that he anticipates that 2026 is going to be his last year. He wants a world title fight at the home of Stoke City. And the fans there all know him, as you heard them singing. He's one of our own. Now they'd love to see Tom Jones there as well to sing that walk-on.
Well, if he gets that world title shot, anything can happen. Dave Allen was talking about that. Could you imagine that at Stoke City? Tom Jones singing him in, because he has one of the best ring walks in the business for sure, and he's going to have to put in a good performance here against Jerome Warburton, who really fancies this one. It's a good opportunity for him. And Nathan Heaney, the question mark remains, is he on the slight decline, or was it just a bad night?
Warburton, who lost in 4 rounds against Kieran Conway in May last year in a British and Commonwealth title fight. And Heaney, well, he's making a cautious start here, just having a look at Warburton, tries to keep it long, spears him with that long left-hand lead. He stands over 6'1", Nathan Heaney, so he's got a reach advantage against Warburton, and he'll be wanting to make that tell.
Yep, really imposing figure is Nathan Heaney, stands very tall, hands held high, slams in the left hook there into the side of Warburton's head. Warburton boxing on the outside and looks a little bit out of his comfort zone here, Warburton, at the beginning of this first round.
Well, he's never experienced anything like the atmosphere here tonight. Some 15,000 fans or more in this massive Co-op arena here in Manchester, and what a reception Heaney got. And Warburton wouldn't be human if he hadn't been intimidated a little bit by that. Gets him with a sneak right cross into the side of Heaney's head, and another one. Heaney ducks low, tries to fire back with a right hand of his own. 1-2 body shots, left hand and a right hand, thud into the rib cage of Warburton.
Yep, the strength definitely with Nathan Heaney, who switches the attacks to the body well. Warburton boxing out in the southpaw stance, leading with that right hand, but he's struggling to deal with Nathan Heaney, who does land a cheeky little backhand there. Just sent Heaney off, but I think he was more off balance than hurt. Heaney straight back on the front foot, both guys tie up. Good start here from Nathan Heaney.
Almost pushing Warburton back onto the ropes, and there goes the bell to end the opening round. What did you reckon, Dave?
Yeah, a Heaney round. Warburton doesn't look big enough for Heaney. Heaney looks twice the size of him. Warburton landed a few shots at the end of the round, maybe give him a bit more confidence to do more. Heaney, compact, not a big puncher. The biggest mystery of my life will be how he ever beat Denzel Bentley. That night was his night. He's not replicated it since the first round. Just a steady round, nothing really special there, but he won it.
He was inspired that night, wasn't it?
It was incredible.
It was his special performance, and I don't think you'll ever see Nathan Heaney fight better than he did last night. To tell you what, I said that he looked facially a little bit like Chris Pyatt, who was an outstanding light middleweight many years ago. He physically doesn't look that dissimilar either.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. And he does look a weight division or 2 weight divisions lower than Nathan Heaney, who's huge for a middleweight, and Jerome Warburton does look more like a welterweight stroke super welterweight in there, and he's going to have to deal with a lot here with Nathan Heaney, who wants to get back to the top, and he knows it's a must-win situation.
Warburton shakes his head after absorbing a right hand into the body from Heaney, as much as to say, well, he might have got me there, but there was no power on it. Nathan Heaney, who had one professional defeat against Brad Pauls, who won earlier this evening against the previously undefeated Shaquille Thompson of Sheffield. Good performance from him. And can I just quickly remind you that you can watch along with us at ringside here in Manchester. Head over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. We've got this fight to be to its conclusion. We're in the second round of 10, and then it's the big one. Heavyweight action. Moses Itauma against Jermaine Franklin, live on talkSPORT.
Yeah, really looking forward to that, guys. You need to switch over to the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel just to check Dave Allen out, and his new haircut as well, looking very sharp there, Dave. And he's even got rid of the beard as well. Get yourselves on the YouTube channel.
Getting any ideas?
Yeah, Nathan Heaney still controlling the centre of the ring here, doing very well. Controlling it behind the jab, and Warburton is struggling to break the rhythm here of Heaney, who's in complete control, cruise control.
He's not a puncher at all, is he, Warburton? And so far he's not looked as though he's got the power to disrupt Warburton, who lands a left hand, right hand, and Warburton says, come on then, you think you can punch me? Let's see you come in there, commit yourself, get onto the front foot. Heaney, though, boxing to plan and boxing well. Took the first round and he's taking this round as well, although he did walk into the southpaw lead as Warburton as he came forward then.
Yep, cool, calm and collected, nice and composed, Heaney, as he switches the attacks, whips the body shots in, you can hear them budding. Warburton says, no, you're not hurting me, but that's never a good sign when a fighter does that. Warburton tries to come back with a 1-2 of his own, but in a moment, with 35 seconds to go on the clock, it's all Nathan Heaney.
When fighters say they've not been hurt, and again he sticks out his tongue almost and beckons Heaney in after Heaney's landed a big, solid left-hand body shot. When fighters produce that sort of kidology, all my years commentating, it kind of tells you that they felt it a little bit more than they're indicating. Into the last 10 seconds of this second round, we'll go into the Heaney corner at the end of this round and hear how they're reading it. But I think he's made a pretty solid start, and I reckon he's taken the first 2 rounds. Let's have a listen in.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah. You're just following him a little bit. Step across him, mate. Yeah. You tell him where to go. And all I'm going to say to you is, stay bucket, stay switched on. Okay? When he's shaking his head at you like that. Yeah. When he's shaking his head at you, don't worry. He's feeling him. Okay? Try both sides to the body. Bend your legs, kid. Stay tight at all times. Yeah. Just keep edging him back. Keep chipping away. He's feeling him. Oh, yeah. He's feeling that backhand. Yeah. Okay? Well, don't get carried away. No. We just need to win. He's feeling him. Keep breaking him up the way you're doing. Okay? Remember, with the body, one wide, one centre. Yeah. Okay?
Did I hear a little swear word in that corner? I have to apologise.
You must have heard that, John, because there was a little smirk on your face. I always know that, and I love the apology afterwards as well. But they seem quite happy in the corner there of Jerome Warburton. They seem to be boxing to a game plan. I don't really think he's got any sort of success, but they seem to know something maybe that I don't. And as they start round 3 there, another good right hand through the middle from Nathan Heaney.
Yeah, Heaney started well enough, and he just looks as though not only is he bigger and looks heavier, of course he's not heavier, but he looks the physically stronger man. He also looks, maybe, on what we've seen so far, as though he has the edge in boxing ability, and he's able to put it onto the front foot and take it to Warburton, who hasn't really found too much by way of a response so far, although he's started this 3rd round a wee bit better, although he walks into a solid right hand.
I was just about to say that as you said that, walks into a right hand, landed straight on the chops, which was never a good thing. The left hook goes into the body as well. Yet we've got the smaller man here trying to move around the perimeter of the ring, trying to box on the outside, but the height and the reach is controlling things from Nathan Heaney. Better work there, though, from Warburton as he comes back with a 1-2.
Warburton, who's had 1 points victory since his defeat against Kieran Conway last year. That was against Jordan Granham over 6 rounds in August last year. And Heaney has said in the run-up to this that he thinks that Warburton's rattled, and if he was rattled beforehand, as he takes another solid left hook into the body, he's going to be feeling a wee bit more rattled now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all going Nathan Heaney's way at the moment. Dave Allen, I'll bring you in here. What does Warburton have to do to change this around? Because boxing on the back foot ain't working for him right now.
Well, Warburton's got the faster feet, he's got the faster hands because he's the smaller man, of course. He's giving away strength and size. I'm not sure either of them can punch. But Warburton has to be a little bit more mobile like that there. Punch, draw Heaney in, outspeed him and move your feet. Warburton can win the fight. But he's just boxing the wrong fight at the minute. He's just going punch for punch with Heaney. And when you go punch for punch, taking in turns, the bigger man's always going to come out on top. Warburton's got to box, got to move his feet more.
Better work there from Warburton as he landed a right-hand, left-hand combination which smacked into the face of Heaney and knocked his head back. Heaney, the taller, mustachioed figure, looks a bit like a sort of 1930s film star, doesn't he, in there?
It does. You know, with that big tash, Freddie Mercury comes to mind. I don't know why that come into my head either.
I don't think he could box too well, could he?
I'm not sure that he could, if I'm totally honest, but Nathan Heaney certainly can box, and he's going to have to box tonight because Warburton does seem a tricky customer. And Dave Allen was right. Oh, big right hand through the middle there, though. Warburton felt that one.
And it made him screw up his eyes and a bit of discomfort as he went back to the corner. That was his best round of the fight so far, Warburton, Dave.
Yeah, I thought he boxed well. I thought the second half of the round probably got the better of it. Warburton can box, Warburton has to punch, and then when Heaney steps in, he has to move his feet. Warburton gets his work off, move his feet. He's more agile, he's faster, he's got faster hands and feet. He punched off on Heaney, who's not a hard target to hit, and move your feet. Warburton can definitely win this fight.
Yeah, that tells you, John, the importance of boxing to tactics. You know, Warburton, quicker feet, quicker hands, use them, get inside, southpaw stance, which is tricky as well. Throw your shots. He had success with that left hand through the middle. He needs to build on that. And for Nathan Heaney, it's about controlling the centre of the ring, leading off with that backhand and following through with the hooks. Nathan Heaney ahead for me, but a better round in round 3 from Warburton.
Did he do enough to win it?
Yeah, he didn't. Probably enough to win it in the second half of that round. It was a close round, and I just swung it towards him, but he needs to build on that now. This is his fight to change at the moment.
4th round is underway, and don't forget that you can watch tonight's action live only on DAZN. Head over to DAZN.com/boxing so you don't miss a thing. And our main event, Itauma against Franklin, is yet to come. Jermaine Franklin, the tough American who thinks that he's going to be able to drag Itauma into deep waters where he's not been before.
Yeah, he certainly does. I've been seeing Franklin, sorry. I've seen Franklin in the gym. I've seen him up close personal training, and I've got to say, he hasn't looked the greatest, but he says he's going to shock the world tonight, and he's going to cause one of the biggest upsets. Jermaine Franklin, that is.
I thought Dave Allen was going to shock the world there and give you a nice little right-hander just to steady you down.
I've got to tell you, if I said it one more time, I'd want a right hand from him. That was appalling behaviour.
We've got Heaney ahead in this fight. We're in the 4th round, and Heaney still standing tall, stand to ring. Walks forward, lands a big left hook into the body, but I think as Dave alluded to in his summary before the last round, neither of these guys really looks as though they have the big enough punch to take each other out and end this contest early.
Yeah, it's just a case of pushing on and systematically trying to break the other one's soul, trying to break his will. Because, you know, I think they hit hard enough, not one punch, but, you know, I think it's just the accumulation of punches that's going to do it. Nathan Heaney is trying to push forward. He's trying to break the soul of Warburton, but Warburton doing better here, Dave Allen. I'll bring you in again. Warburton doing better here and getting off some of those backhands, and that might be the blueprint for him.
Yeah, I think Heaney's doing the same thing over and over and over again. Warburton, for a round or two, the strength kind of pushed Warburton back, and Warburton wasn't quite sure what to do, but now Warburton's getting used to it. It's just the same old, it's the same pressure, it's the same power in the punches, it's the same punches. Never mind the same power, it's the same punches, left hand followed by a right. Warburton's starting to counter now with the right hook, and he's making him miss. Warburton is well in this fight.
We're in the 4th round, and Heaney's finding it difficult to nail him down, trying to get into position to land a big shot. He gets in with a solid left hook, but Warburton takes it well and comes out of his own corner and lands a quality right-hand lead. Heaney cuts off the ring, and now he does get close, and now he does start to land big shots, including a very good-looking left hook to the body.
Yeah, Warburton just started to mark up around the eyes as well as he throws a 1-2, just falls short with that left hand, but finishes with a couple of good right hooks on the bell, and maybe just done enough to win that round as well, Warburton. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I think on the round, Heaney's doing the same thing over and over and over again. He's just going for the jab, and that's probably the right shot, but he doesn't feint. He doesn't change direction with his feet. He doesn't do anything different. Warburton is just throwing the right hook over the jab. Heaney's just got a feint, throw the hook, step across and cut him off. Heaney's doing the same thing over and over and over again. And if he keeps doing it, he's going to keep losing round after round. Do the same thing over and over again. It's madness. Heaney's got a feint. He's got to lead with a left hook. He's got to cut Warburton off. He knows the right hook's coming over his jab every time. Step across and cut him off, or counter the counter. It's poor stuff, really.
I think it's fair to say that if Nathan Heaney were to lose this one tonight, then all those dreams of the big open world title fight in Stoke, they would be gone forever, and he might be looking at the end of his career if he were to lose this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a nutshell what Dave Allen was saying there is he needs to be able to adapt, because Warburton out the southpaw boxing on the outside seems to be getting into a rhythm, and Nathan Heaney is doing the same thing, marching forward in straight lines. Let's see if he's got that adaptability. If he hasn't, this could become a tough night for him.
Well, he's got to get on top. He would suspect at this stage of the fight it's a 10-rounder. He may be ahead, maybe level at this point after 4 rounds. We're in the 5th here, and Warburton is creating plenty of problems out of that southpaw stance. Lands a right lead under left hook, misses then with a right hook, and he's tagged straight by Heaney with a solid left hand. Heaney, as ever, coming in straight lines and now trying to land good body shots. I've got Heaney a couple of points up at this point. You've got him level, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got him level at the moment. I just think that Jerome Warburton is just slipping into a rhythm. He's boxing well, and it's Heaney that seems to be trying to force it now. And I go back to Dave again. He's saying, look, what he's doing now, Heaney, he's been worked out, he's been found out. So you've got to change the game a little bit. When you get to a certain level, you have to adjust, you have to adapt to your opponent. And if it's not working, so Heaney started well with this style. Then it's starting to fall away from him a bit. There we see it there. Warburton throwing them cross through the middle, hook over the top, and getting success.
Brad Paul's really provided the blueprint as to how to cope with Nathan Heaney and how to beat him, and that's to tuck up, create angles, make him miss, and have variety in your work. There's a good right hand, though, from Heaney, and Warburton felt the weight of that.
Yeah, he certainly did. Right hand straight down the pipe, and Warburton walked straight onto it. The good news for Warburton, though, is he took it, and he's just come back with a lovely little combination there. 1-2 and a right hook over the top, and the nose now of Nathan Heaney has totally gone.
Yeah, that looks a mess. There's blood all over his face, dripping through that dark moustache into his open mouth, and there's another solid left hand from Warburton, and this is not a good spell in the fight for Nathan Heaney.
No, Heaney now trying to chase it, and that's when you make those fundamental mistakes. He's been hit with some shots, and he's sort of switched off a little bit here. He's now faced now a mask of blood as well. Good stage this for Warburton.
Bring Adam Catterall in at the end of this round, but this has been a shaky round for Heaney. Heaney gets in with a right hand, but he's clipped by Warburton on the way in, and that very visible target of the blooded left nostril of Nathan Heaney was tagged once more, and that's another uncomfortable round.
Absolutely. I think from the 3rd round onwards, Warburton has started using lateral movement really, really well, and Nathan's not cutting it off. As Dave said a moment or two ago, he's still entering in straight lines. He needs to be able to stop that lateral movement, because if he doesn't, Warburton's going to run away with this, because he's picking him off, getting out the back door, and it's relatively straightforward when he's entering and exiting. Nathan's got to mix this up now.
I've got to tell you as well, right towards the end of that round, there was a short right hook that landed. Heaney's legs went, no one picked up on it. Warburton never picked up on it either, but Heaney's legs stiffened. He felt the weight of that one. That was the first time I've seen him hurt. His face was a mess there as well. You know, will he start to unravel here, Nathan Heaney, because there was signs of it there, and Warburton will have grown from that. Here we go, round number 6.
The halfway stage of the fight, I've got Heaney 3-2 up. What have you got, Spencer?
Yep, I've got the last 3 rounds going to Warburton.
So you've got him 3-2 down.
3-2.
Well, it's that sort of fight that may well be that there's not very much in it. In the 6th round, and we're into the 2nd half. The popular Stoke favourite, Nathan Heaney, fighting in front of an enormous following who've made their way up the M6 this afternoon against the Welshman, Jerome Warburton, who's still giving a pretty good account of himself in there.
Yep, it's proving very elusive in there at the moment. Warburton moving from left to right, working well behind the southpaw jab. 1 jab, 2 jab, 3 jabs all come out and they hit the target.
Big support for Heaney, though. There are ringside judges, of course, but as you'll know, if you've been a regular follower of boxing, you can get the judges maybe influenced at times by the noise generated by the home crowd, and Nathan Heaney effectively is the home fighter, but he's caught again by a solid left hand through his jab. Good accuracy from Warburton.
Yeah, Warburton boxing beautifully here, and he's growing in confidence, oozing in confidence. Dave, I'll bring you in here. How does Nathan Heaney get hold of this again?
Nathan hasn't used a feint all night. He hasn't feinted one time. Warburton is just timing him on for everything. You know, Heaney comes in and Warburton moves. If Warburton moves to his right, he just throws the check hook and just manoeuvres Heaney off balance. If Heaney follows him the other way, that gives Warburton time to let his 1-2 go. Heaney, he's not feinting, he's not offsetting at all, he's just letting Warburton. He's letting Warburton down, walk him into traps. Heaney's just doing too basic. Not giving Warburton anything to think about at all.
Minute to go in this 6th round. Heaney just getting tangled up in the rope on the far side of the ring, and he's plodding after a fleet-footed Warburton, trying to cut him off, trying to get close to land meaningful shots, and at the moment just not able to do so.
Yeah, he just can't cut the ring down at the moment, Nathan Heaney. He's stalking forward, he's trying to do that. Warburton is controlling the space. He's got his lead foot on the outside, and that's why he's controlling the pace in this fight.
You're listening to Nathan Heaney against Jerome Warburton. We're in the 6th of the 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental Middleweight crown. And coming up after this is our main event, Moses Itauma against Jermaine Franklin, an event that you're following live on talkSPORT or maybe watching on our YouTube channel. There's a good right hand from Warburton, hammers into the damaged nose of Nathan Heaney, and Heaney was on the receiving end more often than not in that round. I think that's another round for Jerome Warburton.
Yep, I'm with you, John Rawling. I think Warburton has slipped into a rhythm, and it's now down to Nathan Heaney to be able to break that rhythm. Does he have the ability to do that? Can he adapt? Can he change it? He's stalking forward, and that's the million-dollar question here, Dave, isn't it? He's stalking forward, but not doing enough.
The problem for Heaney now is Warburton's confidence is way up. Warburton's actually starting to enjoy it. He knows he's in control. Heaney hasn't changed anything. I think Warburton, I've seen him in the past, if Heaney come out, stamped the authority on it, Warburton would have gone into a shell. This would have been an easy night's work for Heaney. He's just done the same thing over and over and over again. You know, throwing the jab's the right thing to do. The body's a nice shot. He's just gone to doing the same thing over and over and over again. And now he's just getting outsped and out thought. He's not thinking what he's doing at all.
Well, whether the judges are going to be seeing it the same way is, needless to say, the million-dollar question. If it gets round through this, we'll go into the Heaney corner and hear what sort of advice that they're giving him, because this fight is in danger of falling away and drifting away from the big Stoke favourite.
Yep, and I'll tell you what the advice should be, John, and that is move your feet into range and throw the shots. Don't try and close the gap with your hands, because Warburton is getting off first with the shots. He's quicker with his feet and quicker with his hands, and that's the difference here. Nathan Heaney needs to impose himself, impose that figure, get up close and throw your punches in bunches. Singles no good here, son.
Well, he's not having any success at the moment right now, because Warburton, fleet-footed, is circling the ring and putting his combinations together. Heaney just plodding after him now. On the front foot, walks into a solid right-hand lead, and then comes the backhand, the left hand of Warburton, another scoring shot, and Heaney, gloves up high, trying to walk his way into range, but he's just not able to do so.
I've got to ask you this, mate. Dare I say it? Is he running out of ideas here? Has he got that ability to change a fight? Because we're not seeing it right now.
Well, he's only had one idea. That's the problem. He's just done the same thing over and over and over again. Warburton's done the same things over and over again, but they're working. If something's working, something's not broke, don't fix it. If something's not working, change it, because it's insanity to keep doing the same thing that's but different results. Heaney's been really poor, actually. I'm not sure if he's not as good as he used to be. I'm not sure if Warburton, being a southpaw, I don't know, but he's been poor. He's just chasing around for the same combinations. But Warburton's winning control. It's disappointing, really, because he's just doing the same thing over and over again and getting outboxed.
Minutes to go in the 7th round. Heaney is on the front foot, just following Warburton around the ring, trying to get into range to let his punches go, but Warburton fleet-footed. Now Heaney does get him on the ropes and lands a couple of good shots, but there's a nice right-hand counter in there as well, coming in from Warburton. Referee keeping a close watch on the action, but most of it fair, no low punches, and the punches continue to go in a very, very fluid sort of manner.
Yeah, Heaney rolling the dice a little bit there, but it's got to be educated pressure. It was a little bit reckless, chin in the air, and Warburton, although under pressure, landed the cleaner shots, and again there, left hook whips into the side of the face of Nathan Heaney, who still comes forward, desperately looking for something.
Quality right-hand lead from Warburton, who's circling the perimeter of the ring. Right-hand, left-hand from Warburton. Nothing back from Heaney, and there goes the bell as another round surely goes the way of the Welshman. Let's hear what the Heaney corner are saying to their man. There's got to be a change.
Starts coming down by your nipples and hanging out. That's when you're going to get caught. Yeah. Listen, he's having a bit of a go now. I don't want you to shoot out with him and start lifting your chin up and get caught. I want you tight, but I need you to cut him off and a little bit more punch output, because I don't want him neck rounds. No. You don't need to. So sensibly, a bit more punch output now, because if not, he's going to nick rounds off us. Okay, slow this one. Bring this one. Feel good. Come on. I know you're feeling sorry for yourself. Come on then, son. Yep.
There were signs that he was feeling a bit sorry for himself at times in that round.
I've got to tell you, that was great advice in the corner there, just saying, look, don't get greedy, son, a bit more punch output, but don't get greedy, keep switched on. Brilliant advice, though.
It's all right saying more punch output, but how? Because every time he gets into distance, either getting hit with a check right hook, or he's working onto the 1-2, depending on which way he goes. The way would be, I would completely change it. He's just walking onto punches. Come on, Nathan, come on, just step off him and get your jab going. Give him a different look, give him something different, because the last 5 rounds, on my card, you've lost. Something drastic needs to change.
Goes to the judges if it goes the distance. We're in the 8th of 10 rounds here. Nathan Heaney against Jerome Warburton, the Stoke man against the boy from Colwyn Bay, the bread maker. Vacant WBA Continental middleweight title, and this is the co-main event to the big heavyweight battle, Moses Itauma against Jermaine Franklin, which is coming up for you after this fight ends. And this round again, the crisper punching is coming from Warburton.
Yep, it is. Warburton beating into the punch. Heaney walking forward in straight lines, no lateral movement at all. A desperate look around Nathan Heaney, but he looks a little out of sorts here. He's getting caught with shots, and it's reckless approach.
You said don't feel sorry for yourself. Is he looking a bit sorry for himself?
I'm not sure if he. I mean, he's in his late 30s. He's in with a fresh young fight. Well, not a young fighter, but he's a bit experienced. Warburton was a bit younger. Heaney doesn't. He's not the same man that beat Denzel Bentley. He's not the same man. I think that was his night. But technically, he's just not doing anything right. He's getting caught with the check right hook for the last 6 rounds, and not once has he stepped to his left before Warburton to avoid it and let Warburton go the way he doesn't want to go. Warburton's doing everything he wants. He's doing it when he wants. And Heaney hasn't changed a thing.
That's the voice of Dave Allen, popular Doncaster heavyweight, who's got his own big fight coming up not too far away. Are we going to be covering that? I would imagine we'll certainly be following it on talkSPORT. Maybe we'll be there.
Listen, let's hope we have got that fight, because it's a great fight. Dave Allen at home against Filip Hrgovic. Who wouldn't want to see that? Hopefully we get it.
Open air at the Doncaster football ground. November, it's always balmy and warm and lovely, isn't it, Dave?
Donny, in May, I bring a raincoat and a hat and some gloves.
Once did an open-air fight a few years back in Doncaster, and by God, it was cold.
Freezing, it was freezing. James McDonald when he beat Julio Cesar.
That's the one. 12 seconds to go, 10 seconds now in this 8th round. Another close round. Could be so important that Heaney gets something out of it, and I'm not sure that he has. Adam Cattrall.
No, I don't think he has. I agree with everything that Dave's been saying there. He's doing the same thing over and over again. Another round for me for Jerome Warburton. Nathan Heaney needs a real shake-up in these last two. Just a quick one before I hand back to you boys. We've now trebled the audience on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Over 20,000 people joining us there. A little earlier on in the show, I asked the ball which round do you think Moses Itauma gets the job done in our main event this evening, which is still to come. 17% think round 1, 22% think round 2, 28% have gone for round 3, and then 33% have gone between rounds 4 and 10. Moses Itauma has got 11 knockouts on his ledger. All of them have come in either round 1 or round number 2. So, can Jermaine Franklin take him a little bit longer than anybody else has taken him? We will find out after this fight. Make sure you stick with us. We've got 2 rounds left of this one between Nathan Heaney and Jerome Warburton, and Spencer Oliver and John Rowland are calling you through it.
Whatever you say, wherever it goes, I think you would be misleading if you said that this has been a good fight, because it certainly hasn't. And Heaney has not been able to vary his tactics as his corner, and I'm sure he would have liked to have done, to have dominated this fight more than he has done.
Yeah, John, I'll say it's been a good fight to Jerome Warburton for sure, because he's stuck to the game plan and it's worked for him. Quicker hands, quicker feet, moving up, check right hook the whole time, and Nathan Heaney just hasn't been able to adapt. Yes, that was his big night back in 2023, beating Denzel Bentley, but the knockout against Brad Pauls has definitely taken something out of him. Was there a decline? That was the question mark. On this performance, the answer's yes.
He was nailed there as he came in. Healy, his head rocked back 2 or 3 times by simple short punches, right hands, left hands from Jerome Warburton. Warburton's up on his toes, jigging around. He's got the demeanour and the ring nous to keep this at range and keep a mobile target, and from his demeanour it really does look as though he thinks that he's winning here. Right hand from Heaney, and another one. Little bit of a flurry of work from the older man.
Yeah, well, I think that Nathan Heaney's fans think that he's losing this one as well, because they're normally a lot more vocal than they're being right now. Worrying times for Nathan Heaney in there as we approach the halfway mark in round number 9.
We're going to be going into that Heaney corner at the end of this round, because there needs to be a speech and advice of Churchillian status from the people over there to get their man absolutely in top form for the last 3 minutes, because if he loses this fight, it might be the last 3 minutes of his career.
I totally agree with that. He's going to need a stern telling off. Will be much to the pleasure of your ears, Mr. John Rowling. I'm sure that smirk's going to come back, because we know the sort of language that's going to be said there, because this could be career in the balance here for Nathan Heaney at this level for sure.
Right hand, left hand from Heaney, but he walks straight into a solid right jab from Warburton, which rocks back his head. And Warburton, unheralded, the Welshman, in his 21st fight, only got 2 stoppage wins in his 16 victories. Is he going to get another win here? The biggest win of his career, and he's got 20 seconds left in this 9th round, and he might be taking another round here from range. He dips low and goes right hand, left hand into the body of Heaney. Last 10 seconds of the round. Heaney steadies himself, looks for a big eye-catching flurry, goes for a solid right hand, can't find it, the bell goes, and we'll go across to that Heaney corner. I'll give a preemptive apology about what you might hear. Here we go.
Too much, mate. Okay, you're following him, you're letting him lead off, and then he gets off on one, and you waited too long. I'll repeat myself. Sensible, but keep him negative.
Yeah. I won that round now. Yes, you did. 100%.
Just do as I'm telling you.
Coming up, guys.
Last round,
Last
I need
round,
you.
yeah.
I want you win. You need win this round. I want you sensible, but I want you to let him go a little bit more. Okay, keep him negative.
Yeah.
But fucking sensible. Don't do anything silly. Keep him negative. Stop letting him lead off and run. Okay?
Come on, right hand here.
Well, I must pick up on that, John, because I've got to tell you, there's no sense of urgency in that corner at all, and I wasn't pleased with what I heard there. One, he didn't win that round, he lost that round, and he needs the knockout to win. They should have been more vocal there. They should have told him, go out there, you need a knockout here, son, throw the kitchen sink, everything you got, career's on the line, and that's where I'm at with it.
The language was industrial, of course, and apologies once more, but I'm sure that every boxing fan listening right now and watching on our YouTube channel, or maybe watching live on DAZN, understands exactly what's at stake here. Heaney has to really go for it in these last 3 minutes of the fight, and he surely has to win this round to be sure of winning this fight.
Yep, I've got this 7 rounds to 2 in favour of Jerome Warburton. That's how wide I've got this. He's used the ring really well, got off with the shots really well, and Nathan Heaney has done the same thing from round 1 to round now number 10. He needs to change it, or he needs to find something. The crowd are getting behind him. Is it going to be enough with 2 minutes left on the clock?
He needs to find something special. He needs big punches, and there he goes. Right hand and the left hand both found the target. The left hand may have landed on the arm of Warburton, who comes it falling in behind his own southpaw jab. Heaney this time keeps his shape and manages to parry the blows, and then tries to cut his man off into the corner on the far side of the ring, but he's unable to do so, and Warburton again moving around the periphery, spears him with a right hand lead, ducks below an attempted right hand counter, and Heaney is just not finding big punches.
He's not getting off with the shots at all, and it's Warburton that's actually landing the shots. Lovely right hook, left hand, went through there as well. Heaney chasing forward but hitting thin air. Warburton up on his toes. Dave, bad times here for Heaney as we approach the 1 minute mark. He needs the KO.
Yeah, I think he needs a stoppage. I've probably got it similar to you, Spence. I think it's probably 7-2. I thought Heaney started well the first minute of the last round, but Warburton's picked it up and he's winning this round as well now. It's been a poor performance really. It's been a one-trick pony, and it's just not been enough.
Hate to say it really, Dave. I mean, it's when you see somebody perform like this, when you've seen him perform as well as he did only 3 years ago against Denzel Bentley, it's kind of the performance of an old fighter.
Yeah, I think Warburton's box type is skin tight, but Warburton by no means, Warburton's been beaten when he stepped up anywhere near British title level, so you have to worry about Heaney on this performance. Probably the last time we'll see him.
Maybe not. It's down to the judges. Warburton skipping round the ring as though he's been told just stay away from anything and the fight is yours. He's got his arms up, he's celebrating, he thinks that he's won it. Heaney can't catch him. Both of them raise their arms aloft, but it's Warburton who gets onto the ropes in his own corner and shouts to the fans. He thinks that he's produced the upset, and he thinks that he's beaten the Stoke favourites. I think that Dave and Spencer probably agree.
Yeah, I've got this very, very wide indeed. I know Nathan Heaney is trying to get something here, trying to convince the judges, but the scoring has already been done. I've got this 98-92 in favour of Nathan Heaney. Jerome Warburton walking around the ring, screaming to the fans. He feels he's got it. The trainers also think he's got it as they lift him aloft the centre of the ring. David Heaney's fans are singing the line-up. They seem happy. Could it be the last time we hear this, Dave? I've got this very wide, mate.
I've got it by a couple of rounds. I've not got it quite as wide as you guys.
I don't think you could get. I think if you can give Heaney the first two, I couldn't give him more than two of the last 8 though.
Fourth and the 9th.
Maybe four rounds Heaney at the very most. Couldn't give him 5. I'd be very disappointed if Warburton don't get this.
Well, I think if you're a Welsh fan, or if you're anything to do with Jerome, or if you were in that corner, you'd really be hoping that he's done enough. What do you reckon, Adam?
I agree with Dave. I've got it 7-3 in favour of Warburton. I just think from the 3rd round onwards, he just got his feet going really, really well. And Nathan Heaney just kept rinsing and repeating and not adjusting to the new challenge that was in front of him.
The fighters have been drawn centre ring with the referee Bob Williams, and here's Thomas Tribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Bensei Kovac scores it 98-92, and both judges Jean Robert Lane and Howard Foster scored the same, 97-93, all for your winner by unanimous decision. And now the WBA Continental Middleweight Champion, Jerome, the Bread Maker Warburton.
All 3 judges in alignment with what we were saying on commentary there. 98-92 once, 97-93 on a couple of occasions. I know that we've been quite hard, Dave, there on obviously Nathan Heaney in his performance, but we've got to take our hat off to the young lad here. He's come here, he's had a look at him for 2 rounds, he's realised, well, this type of fight's not going to win it me. I'm going to change my tactics. He changed them, and he changed the fight in his favour.
Yeah, as poor as I thought Heaney was, Warburton did well. What level Heaney is right now, I'm not too sure. I watched Warburton, he boxed Conway when I boxed Fisher. And I thought, well, there's an area champion level fighter. There's a decent fighter, Warburton. He can box, he can move, he can't punch though. And he's just beat Nathan Heaney, all ends up. He'll get a big fight now, but how good he is, I'm not really sure. We'll find out next time.
Yeah, the skills are there, but I think you're right. I think there's a lack of power, isn't there, which might be able to, which was probably going to hold him back from the next levels and what have you. But a good victory for him there all the while. Good victory, and he's just addressing the crowd now. Whilst he's doing that, we're going to take a break, because coming up, Crash Bang Wallop, don't blink, Moses Itauma will be in the ring. We're in Manchester at the Co-op Arena for Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin. Nathan Heaney is just in the ring right now, just addressing the crowds after losing his fight with Jerome Warburton. 97-93 on 2 cards, 98-92 on the other one. He has just confirmed, Dave, that he is going to have one more. Off the back of that defeat, we were just speculating then, weren't we, whether it would be time for him to call it. I think he wants to do that in front of his home fans in Stoke, who came out in force for him tonight. But I think you can tell with the way that he's speaking, he knows that it's coming to the end now.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed he's got beat there by Warburton. I think he'll feel like at his best that would have been a fight he should have won. But he's had a great career, being British champion, more than I've ever done and more than most. So fair play to him. The support rivals anyone in British boxing history, really. So fair play to him. Good fellow, good fighter.
No, absolutely. A couple of years ago, Spence, we were lucky enough to be in the other arena here in Manchester. Well, it was 2.5 years ago now, isn't it? When he had that night against Denzel Bentley. I know that you boys mentioned it a couple of times in commentary. He was a massive underdog that night. Denzel coming off the back of a world title effort. He rose and he became the British champion. A sensational achievement. If you think about where he was to where he ended up that night, wow.
That was his night, man. Winning that British title, that is so prestigious. It's unreal. And, whatever he decides to do, he can say that. He can show his kids, they can show his grandkids. That's an achievement, man. And look at the crowd he brings. Dave Allen's right. That rivals any other fighter in British history. He deserves that homecoming, that fight at home against a lesser opponent. No one of any real substance. Let him go out in a win, and that's probably career done. I think that we've seen tonight that the best has definitely left him. That was back in 2023. That's the last time we've seen him at that sort of level. And them days are gone, and it's a game where once you're at that stage, it's not a nice game to be in.
No, it's not. We'll finish on a positive, though, from Jerome Warburton's point of view. Listen, he's just beaten Nathan Heaney, the former British champion, as Dave said there. Onwards and upwards, he's going to be looking at opportunities for himself now.
Of course he is. It's division stacked with talent. Like Dave Allen again nailed it by saying, all right, look, you beat a fighter that was not really at his best, so it's hard to gauge the level, but let's see it. You've got the opportunity now. That will elevate you to another level. You're going to get that opportunity, and you could become a player in the division, an addition to the middleweight division. I thought he looked like a super welter going in there, even a welterweight, but listen, delivered, man. So yeah, a good addition to the middleweights for sure.
The main event will be on its way very, very shortly as Moses Itauma and Jermaine Franklin do their thing. We do love it when the big boys throw down for our entertainment, and obviously this guy has been super entertaining in recent times that we've had him on talkSPORT. Moses Itauma, one of the most exciting contenders on the planet. When you look at the bookies odds for this gentleman, obviously you can get 10-1 on Jermaine Franklin coming through this. Moses Itauma is 20-1 against, isn't he? The disparity is absolutely gigantic. Are we giving Franklin much of a chance here in this fight, Spence?
No, I'm not giving you any chance in this fight. I think this is about levels. We've got one kid that's on the rise. Franklin's, he's been tested at a level. Yeah, his night may have been when he beat, or he should have beat, Dillian White. A couple of years ago. That was probably his finest hour. He lost to Anthony Joshua since then. Yeah, he's come back with a good win. He's quite tricky. He's teak tough. Fabio Wardley said that. The guy is very, very durable. You can hit him with anything. He keeps coming. But this is 10-ounce gloves. And he's in with a guy here who's spiteful. A kid who I think is going to go all the way and become world champion. He sets traps. He's quick with his hands, quick with his feet. Combination punches. Does things slightly different to any other heavyweight. And I think he catches him early, and it could be an early night.
He's an incredible talent, Moses Itauma. You've got a really cute eye, especially with these heavyweights, Dave. What do you see when you watch him?
I think he's exceptional, I really do. For his age as well, you put the age into the equation, he's unbelievable. I give Franklin a chance, though, because with the doubts over Itauma, Franklin can actually put them to the test. Can he do the rounds? Franklin should take him rounds. Franklin should be good enough to hit him on the chin a couple of times if he takes them rounds. For me, the question mark over Itauma is temperament. I watched the Dobroshenko fight and I watched the Espindola fight. He was 18 at the time. But a few times he got frustrated and he showed out. Jermaine Franklin, he can frustrate him. He can take him rounds, he can make him miss, and he can make it a bit messy. I'm intrigued at how Moses Itauma handles that. If he comes to Franklin with flying colours, he's the real deal. If he beats Jermaine Franklin, he's the real deal. If he sneaks past Jermaine Franklin, he's the real deal. Jermaine Franklin is a world-class heavyweight.
Interesting point there that Dave just made there about temperament, because you only get asked those questions the more rounds that you do at the professional level. We sadly haven't seen that yet from Moses, have we? We tried, we put him in with some top boys, but he just keeps blowing all these guys away. Franklin's got a reputation for being durable and being able to take people long. I know that everybody's here for a knockout and everybody wants those don't get paid for overtime cliches to come out later on, but you secretly as well want to actually see a little bit more minutage on the mat tonight.
Of course we do, and so does Frank Warren and the team, and I think that that's why he's been brought in, and that reason only, to give him the rounds that he needs, Moses Itauma. And he does need those rounds before going up to that next level, because he is there right now. Frank Warren says if he gets the job done inside the distance, it could be world titles next, so this is a real benchmark to see where he's at. I'm going off what I've seen in the gym with Jermaine Franklin, the sparring I've seen over the last 6 weeks or so, where I've not seen much improvement. Yes, I've seen a lot of toughness, but what I will say is I see him getting hit a lot, you know, by guys with quick hands, southpaws that I've seen him being sparring with. That's the worry for me. You catch a fighter cold, like Dillian White was caught cold last time out, who's normally a durable guy. If he gets stung early in a fight, it can be hard to recover, you know, and I think that that's what could happen here. It could be like that, because we've got a guy that starts fast against a guy that doesn't particularly start too fast and can be hit. That's what I'm going off.
Well, we had a little chat with him this week, Jermaine Franklin. He speaks very, very well. He's not just come here for a few quid and a rollover. He genuinely believes there's an opportunity here to stop the party because of the position that Moses Itauma holds with some of these sanctioning bodies. Jermaine Franklin can catapult himself into that conversation with the likes of Dubois and Wardley and Caballel, should he be victorious this evening.
Do you know what? And that's sort of another thing that goes against him, because he truly believes, and Jesse's trainer, that they're here to shock the world, that it's the opportunity, and you have to think that as a fighter. But like I say, when you bring a fight to someone, then, if he doesn't go into defensive mode as soon as he starts out, he creates the opportunity for Moses Itauma, and that's where I'm going with it. Mark Moses, is the difference between him and other heavyweights is the speed, the southpaw style, the precision of punch, you know, and the power with that as well. Put all those ingredients into a pot. That's a bad recipe for someone with the style of Jermaine Franklin. That's where I'm going here.
That hand speed is frightening, isn't it? And that's going to be interesting to see how Franklin responds in those first 2 rounds. When there is that glaring hand speed and it's nice and fresh, it's going to be interesting to see how Jermaine responds in those moments.
Franklin won't try and compete for 2 rounds. That's how Franklin will get through it. He won't compete. He won't try and win the first 2 rounds. He will let Itauma come to him. He will sit on the ropes. He will see every punch coming. That's why I think Franklin will get through the rounds. He will see everything coming. He has no intention of winning the early rounds. And that's how he has to do it, really. He has to use Itauma's speed against him. He has to let Itauma be fast. It's a 10-round fight. Let Itauma be as fast as he wants. Loads of feints. Make him miss. Ride a few shots. You know, but be nice and tight at the same time. I think Franklin's in this fight after 3. I really do. I think Itauma...
Is that because of the questions that you've got around maybe temperament?
It's temperament.
Just frustrating him a little bit?
He's a 21-year-old. We say man, but...
He's like, yeah, it's a boy. Let's be honest.
The male brain doesn't really formulate completely until you're 28, 29, 30 years of age. He has to come out to this atmosphere.
Yeah.
He's a superstar now. He's back in the UK. Last time was over at Saudi. Probably not that many people in there. He has to take it all at 21 years of age. It's a massive, massive ask. And this fella after 2 or 3 rounds, I think will still be there. And he'll be starting to hit him back, and that's a new thing for him. How does he deal with it? I hope he does with it great, and I hope he beats Franklin. I hope we've got another superstar, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Franklin really, really puts up to him.
I'm going to give you something a little bit exciting here as well. Speaking to the trainer, Jesse, who's been with Jermaine Franklin since he was 12 years of age, says, listen to this. Jermaine Franklin has never been on the floor, never been stopped, never been knocked out, amateur or pro. I've been with him, never even seen him be wobbled. And that is a good benchmark again, because he's been in with some big hitters. Dillian White and Anthony Joshua, they can whack. So it's going to be interesting.
DAZN, let's now welcome to the ring our main event participants. First, the challenger from the United States, known as the 989 Assassin, Jermaine Franklin Jr.
I spent 3,200 on loot, 1,200 for the one with the spike. Versace running on like they night. I dig it down, now she claiming she wife. Her pussy good, she ain't fucking with. I remember mama that.
Here comes Jermaine Franklin. Draped in black. Focused and lasered in on the task ahead. We've heard all the talk about how he thinks, and we think he's going to be approaching this fight. One thing he's absolutely proven over the years with the level of opponent that he's been in with, he's a very, very tough man. Only 2 defeats on that professional ledger. Dillian Whyte, a debatable loss against Dillian Whyte. Lots of people that night thought that maybe he nicked it, but it was a majority decision against him. And of course, he went the distance with Anthony Joshua, as Anthony Joshua was rebuilding off the back of his defeats to Alexander Usyk. New haircut, new approach, new attitude. He fancies it this week.
Now let's welcome the undefeated defending champion from England, Moses Itauma.
Manchester.
The Manchester crowd are just being serenaded by Meeks. I'll be honest, I'm not clued up on the boy's music, but he's absolutely rocking the Co-op Arena right now. Nice little touch from Moses Itauma, getting a local guy in to come and serenade him. I said serenade him, serenade this crowd. He's putting on a little bit of a performance right now. And here comes Moses Itauma as he joins Meeks on the top stage. But this is the superstar status that we've been talking about as we've been building up to this week. Meeks obviously big in Manchester, in the rap scene. And Moses Itauma rubbing shoulders with that level of star as he makes his way to the ring. Cool, calm, collected as always, Moses Itauma. Ready to throw down once again. Every challenge that has been put in front of him, he has decimated. 13 victories, 11 of them via KO, and all 11 have come in the first or second round. He is the epitome of the do not blink fighter. A very stoic personality, far from stoic once that bell rings. Light of foot, fast of hand, and when he lands, he absolutely detonates. Spencer Oliver, have you got Meeks' back catalogue? He's still giving it a little bit.
Unfortunately, mate, I haven't. My daughter might know who he is, but unfortunately, I don't. I'm not up to it, but I'm enjoying it, mate. I'm enjoying it like the rest of us here. 15,000 fans have absolutely packed into this just to see how good Moses Itauma is, and we find that out right now.
Well, Moses Itauma has been in the ring for the best part of a minute and a half, just doing his final stretch. He's draped in black. Thomas Stryber's waiting to make the introductions for these two lads. The Co-op Arena are waiting for this fight to get cracking. But Meeks is having a whale of a time, having a little bit of a concert still on that top stage. Listen, why not? This is showbiz at the end of the day. It's a heavyweight fight. We're in Manchester, and we're putting on a little bit of pomp and ceremony ahead of this extreme talent in the heavyweight division. Just a little reminder for you, make sure you come and join us on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. As Meek finishes, the crowd give him a little bit of a round of applause, but the main event is about to get cracking with Thomas Stryber on that microphone, ready to introduce these two warriors. Once again, we are live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel where you can get stuck into the comments section, watch along with us, listen to our commentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 10 rounds, and it will be for the WBA International and WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships. Brought to you by Frank Warren Ford Queensberry, along with their great sponsors. Unibet, That Prize Guy, Riyadh Season, 32 Red, and Global Next Trade. A big thanks to those great sponsors. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Steward in Charge Suzanne Potts, along with the World Boxing Association. President Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor Mariana Borisova, and the World Boxing Organization President Gustavo Olivieri, Supervisor Istvan Kovac, Timekeeper Phil Morris. The judges are Bence Kovac, Jean Robert Lane, and John Latham. Our referee in charge, third man in the ring, will be Steve Gray. And now, boxing fans joining us live worldwide, and boxing fans here in Manchester, England. The hour of truth has arrived. Introducing first, the challenger. Fighting out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing black with gold and weighed in officially at 258.4 pounds. Coming to us from Saginaw, Michigan, USA, he brings a professional record consisting of 24 wins, 2 defeats. 15 of his 24 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the highly skilled contender and tonight, the challenger, known as the 989 Assassin, Jermaine Franklin Jr. And his opponent across the ring in this main event, he is the defending champion, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black with gray and weighed in officially at 242.1 pounds. Hailing from Chatham, Kent, England, he had a stellar amateur career and now as a professional, undefeated, 13 wins. 11 of his 13 wins come by way of knockout. Ranked number 1 in the world by both the WBA and WBO. Here is the hard-hitting heavyweight sensation. And tonight, the reigning and defending WBA International and WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Moses Itauma.
Just waiting for Moses to get stripped up before the final instructions from referee Steve Gray. Here he comes.
I call fellas, if I call break, I expect you to take one step back. Don't throw deliberate punches to the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Remember, we're streaming live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. 11 stoppages on the resume, and all within 2 rounds for Moses Itauma so far. Jermaine Franklin is here to see if he can take him into a deeper fight. Will we get another statement? The continuing message is do not blink. Calling you through this heavyweight blockbuster on talkSPORT, it's Spencer Oliver and John Rowling.
What a reception Itauma got. Fair to say that the British boxing public is really warming to this young man. Jermaine Franklin, 32 years old, his heaviest ever for this. Fair to say he doesn't exactly look like an athlete, but he takes a shot. As you heard Spencer saying, never been down, never been floored, never been knocked out at any stage in his career. Reminds me of a man of years ago, Oliver McCall. He was a bit like that.
Absolutely, very tough guy. And then right hook just landed there. Franklin tries to come back with 2 shots of his own. Moses Itauma just a little too quick off the mark.
Caught him off balance, didn't he? And he staggered away, did Franklin. Didn't, in all honesty, look as though he'd been hurt, but he was just stumbling away and looking just a little bit embarrassing. It takes another right hand to the side of the head and another. More examples early on of this blinding hand speed of Itauma.
Blistering hand speed of Itauma, and he's getting through the guard there of Jermaine Franklin, who's carrying that lead left hand down too low against the southpaw. You get clipped over the top with a right hook, the same shot that knocked Dillian Whyte out back in Saudi Arabia in August. He has to be careful of that shot, Jermaine Franklin.
Itauma's the bigger man, stands 6'4.5", but outweighed massively. There's a left hook from Itauma again, though. Franklin takes it well, and a little uppercut as well. All scoring shots for Itauma. Franklin being forced just to try and cover up and parry and evade. Throws the left jab, was short of the target, takes a solid left to the body by way of response from Itauma, who's short of the target with 2 pawing right jabs, then a big left hand. Was it into the side of the head, or did Franklin get his glove up just in time? I think he may have done.
Yeah, he got the glove up just in time, but that's the blistering hand speed you're talking about, John. You can't even see them. He's delivering from the centre of the ring. Good work, this. Good start from Itauma. Right left hand goes in.
And just for a moment there, Franklin looked a little bit stunned by that one. That left hand caught him flush, and did those legs stiffen slightly? We've got 30 seconds to go in the opening round. Right hand, left hand from Itauma. More heavy shots from the 21-year-old from Chatham in Kent. Franklin turns him and tries to throw a big right hand as he does so, but was short of the target.
Yeah, that's right, tactics from Franklin. He needs to punch when Moses Itauma's punching, because he has to roll the dice a little bit himself. 2 big shots in the legs. Hand slipping up here. He's in trouble here.
He looked as though he was going to go for a moment. Last few seconds of the round, and Itauma was unloading massive shots. Franklin sees it through to the end of the first round, but that was a big, big round for the youngster, Dave Allen.
Yeah, great round. I was very surprised by Franklin's output. Franklin was trying to match him for speed. I think that was a bit of a mistake he made. A few interesting things there. One, we talked about how well Franklin takes a shot upstairs. Them straight left hands to the body look really hurtful. Itauma's really hitting the body really well. And one interesting point the other way, when Franklin does fire back, Itauma doesn't step out of distance. He stays way, way out of distance. So, be interesting if Franklin can get for a few more rounds, because when Franklin does throw punches, Itauma does probably go too far out of distance, which I find pretty interesting. But the body work's good. Great start.
Yeah, brilliant work there from Moses Itauma. He finished the round strong as well. The bell coming in the nick of the time for Jermaine Franklin, who was under heavy firepower in the opening round. Can Itauma build on it? Round number 2.
Here we go. Fascinating first 3 minutes into the second now. And Itauma, as we know, usually finishes his fights in double quick time. So whatever you're doing, stay with us for now. Left hand from Franklin, short of the target, knocked down by Itauma, who feints to throw jabs out of the southpaw right hand stance, leading off behind the right hand. And back comes Franklin with a solid body shot of his own. Right hand from the tough American from Michigan. That's Mayweather territory for those of you who don't know. Itauma standing tall, 2.5 inches taller, centre ring, right hand, left hand, and Franklin is showing that he's not prepared to be just blown away by the first attacks that Itauma can produce.
Yep, he's showing his durability, isn't he, Franklin? And that's what he's known for, and that's what he's been brought in here for, to give Moses Itauma the rounds, but he's under heavy firepower in the middle of this round number 2.
I remember being in Leicester a few years ago when a tough American called Kevin Johnson went 10 rounds with a young prospect called Daniel Dubois. I wonder, maybe Itauma's going to have to go some rounds here, and will he be the better for it?
Yep, absolutely. Listen, getting the rounds in the bank is gonna bode him well for the future, that is for sure. He started off very well, as we expected. Explosive, good shots to the body as well.
1, 2, 3, good jabs to the head, and another one. And there's no way that Franklin can react quickly enough to get out of range of that. Left to the body from Itauma. Feints to throw the right jab. Then forward comes Franklin with a right into the body. And you heard it, thud into the body of Itauma. Good right hand from Itauma. Lovely hook.
Yeah, sickening body shots there. Itauma trying to bring the arms down of Franklin so the chin is exposed. Right hook goes in as well. Franklin tries to come back, but hits midair.
Bit of kidology from Franklin, stuck his tongue out. Whether it was a Mickey-taking move, and nearly said something else then, or whether it was or whether it was involuntary, I'm not too sure.
You and Dave Allen biting your tongue tonight, and me tripping over my tongue. It's all going on here.
We'll have a little meeting at the Tourette's Society later on. Good left hand from Itauma, but again, taken really well by Franklin, who's showing that he can take all sorts of punishments here, coming towards the closing stages of the second round, and he takes a left uppercut inside there from Itauma, lands a left hand of his own. Lively end to this second round. Another round for Itauma, but let's go into the Franklin corner and hear what he's being told.
It's his jab. You got to make him stop throwing that jab. Every time he throw it, he's dropping it down. We got to come over with that hook. Every rip. We got to make him pay for everything he throws until he gets scared to throw. Okay? You looking good. You looking good. Let's keep working like that. I need more jabs too.
Hey, listen, bro. You can be here with the same bank style. You try to jab, let him you. You can jab right here, right back to the stomach. Listen. I'm trying to tell you, do not let him get his feet planted. That's how he get his punches good. When he's trying to punch, move around, don't crowd his ass. You know what I'm saying?
He already getting disgusted. He thought he would have you out of here by now, but he don't. Put some pressure on him.
Dave Allen, what do you make of what you're hearing there? Avoid the jab.
It's very, very interesting. Itauma's body punching is brilliant. His body punching is hurting Franklin. But another couple of rounds of frustration. You know, taking what he has to, but more importantly, making him miss. This is going to get really interesting. I'm getting quite excited. Franklin needs to get for a few more rounds. I want to see what Itauma's all about.
We're into the third round. Couple of scoring jabs from Itauma. The first punches on target in this round. It's a 10-rounder, our main event here in Manchester tonight. Moses Itauma and Jermaine Franklin, the tough American from Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah, Moses Itauma loading up with the shots, sitting down with those shots, really drilling that left hand through. Oh, big right hook went in there as well. Jermaine Franklin is living up to that standard that he's got with that teak, tough chin.
He just
massive
didn't move him. Just didn't move him. Looked as though it landed flush, and Franklin just took it, stands there, and now he waits for Itauma to come forward. Itauma throws a couple of body shots, left hand and a right hand. Feints to throw the jab to the head. Franklin slips inside it and tried to get in with a right to the body of his own. At least Franklin is doing enough to make Itauma think here. Itauma gets in with a right hand into the side of the head, then feints to throw an uppercut, thinks better of it, and he's just showing Franklin, I just sense, a little bit more respect.
Yep, he's just recognised that Franklin's not going to be easy to budge, and he's trying to pin him, he's trying to set a trap, he's just feinting a couple of shots, he's trying to fight the opening. Big left hand lands again, you hear the ooze from the crowd, but Franklin somehow takes it again.
It was a lovely punch, that one. Suckered him in with the right hand lead and then threw the high guard with a lovely straight left-hand Itauma, but again Franklin didn't really move. But the American is just backing away. Now he does throw a jab of his own. His cornerman had said you've got to throw more left-hand leads, and that's what he did, and it found the target. And again, as Itauma tries to respond with a right-hand lead of his own.
Big left hand through the middle again. Itauma moving Franklin from corner to corner. 2 body shots. Dave Allen, I'll bring you in. He felt the weight of those shots there, and a nod of appreciation from Franklin.
Yeah, I think the body shots are the key for Itauma. I think upstairs Franklin does look very sturdy. Oh, good shot. Back of the head.
Down he went. The first time he's been down in his professional career. Jermaine Franklin on the canvas. And Itauma now knows that he can hurt his man, and there's 15 seconds to go in the 3rd round. Itauma's trying to finish him right now. Right hand, left hand, and a right to the body. Franklin misses with a big swinging right hand of his own, and there's the bell going to end that round. And well, what an explosive punch it was, and if there was any doubt, I think we know now who's going to win this fight.
I've got to tell you, to give credit where credit's due here to Jermaine Franklin. He went down like a rocket then, right hook over the top, the same shot that actually knocked Dillian Whyte out as well, and he got up straight away with all of his senses, all of his faculties intact. Dave, that was impressive there. This guy is showing durability beyond belief.
Yeah, he's going around the back and the top of the side of the head. You know, he just took his legs from underneath. I don't think it was necessarily hurt. For me now, Franklin, really, I'm not saying go and have a go, I'm not saying flash all the dice, but don't push Itauma back. I'd like to see Itauma pushed back now by Franklin, because doing what he's doing, it's a very dangerous game trying to tire Itauma out by taking the shot. So I want to see Franklin just edging back a little bit now.
Well, he's been down. 2 first rounds going to Moses Itauma, and then the knockdown in the 3rd. That'll be a 10-8. He lands a right hand, left hand, fast punches. He's looking for the head of Franklin, who still looks as though he's got his wits about him, bobbing this way and that, and trying to close down, trying to respond and fight fire with fire. Is it a dangerous ploy? Gets into range and aims a right hand to the body. Itauma saw it coming and backed away and covered up.
Of course it's a dangerous ploy, because he's standing in front of Moses Itauma. More importantly, he's still got ambition here, Franklin. He's trying to punch when Itauma's punching. He's boxing to tactics here, that is for sure. It's not paying off for him, but you've got to give him credit.
And he feinted to throw a right hand there. There's a right hand from Itauma again, over the top of the left-hand lead, and you heard the body shot from Itauma go thudding into the ample midriff of Jermaine Franklin, and it really thudded home. Minute gone in the 4th round now.
Yep, and it's all been Moses Itauma again as he holds centre of the ring, boxing out that southpaw style, jabbing out, stabbing out the jab, looking for the big left hook. There it is, then he switches the right hook to the body. Good stuff from Itauma.
Franklin, though, is unmoved. He lets Itauma come. Maybe he's reckoning that Itauma will surely punch himself out at some stage. High-risk strategy. We're in the 4th round. It's a 10-rounder, and Itauma flicks out the right-hand lead. 1 gets through, 2 more taken on the gloves. Then a scoring left jab from Franklin. Itauma comes in with a powerful left hand to the head, but again Franklin takes it and remains composed, keeps his shape on those ropes to the left of our commentary position.
Yep, just getting pinned now in the neutral corner. Franklin trying to come back with some shots of his own. He's sitting there a little bit like rope-a-dope, trying to draw a faster man in to make that fundamental mistake. Good work this from Franklin.
Is Itauma going to allow his work rate to fall? That has to be the gamble of Franklin, who takes another left hand. So just a little bit gone out of Itauma's work in the latter stages of this 4th round. Doubles over the jab and a left hand to the body. That's good from Itauma, but Franklin is still there, gloves held high, still concentrating on the ropes, waiting for a chance to flash in a big, powerful counter. Almost there with a right hand.
Yep, little warning sign there from Jermaine Franklin, who I said has still got ambition, as Itauma then slams a couple of jabs into the head. misses wildly with a left uppercut there. Franklin coming back well.
Right hand into the body from Franklin, and he finishes the round strongly. That's his best little spell of the fight, but we'll go into the blue corner now and hear what's being said to Moses Itauma. Ben Davison is the man giving instructions.
Don't miss the off-beats one this time. You're coming over the top of his jab. He's not ready. Even if he's not landing, drop one, yeah? In for your nose, down for your mouth, son. So the thing when you're transitioning off double right hand, you get none of that left. Less on the left, but more on the right to catch him with, yeah? You know what I mean? I'm missing with that. So put less on that, come out the right, and then you can come out the left. Even when you go back round the side, that one, that's how he dropped in there, you have too long. Hands up, Keane, keep touching the ball.
Well, what did you make of that, Dave?
Well, corner work is corner work. It's about temperament from here. Whatever happens from here, it's temperament. Moses Itauma has to hold himself together. This could get pretty rough from here. This could get really rough.
There is the danger, I would suggest, that he could punch himself out to a degree, and if that happens, then we'll see.
For me, it's what he does when he's not punching. It's what he does when Franklin punches. Franklin feints, he throws the jab. Moses Itauma's taking a step or two out of distance. He's bouncing out of distance and back in. It's very hard to do his heavyweight over 10 rounds to really expend that kind of energy.
Franklin came in with a right hand there, and that found the target. Itauma is a little bit more wary of jumping in with big shots now.
Yep, Franklin is looking for that right hand. He's trying to draw Moses Itauma in. He's carrying the lead, left hand low, giving Itauma that opportunity, dangling the carrot, if you like.
There's a big right hand from Itauma. You heard that crash into the side of Franklin's head. And another one, and this time he wobbles back slightly. Itauma senses it. Is he going to go looking for maybe another knockdown? He had him down in the third round with a right hand. Is he going to be able to repeat the process here in the fifth?
Yep, he's getting moved from corner to corner, and now he's pinned in his own corner. Franklin tries to come back. Itauma misses the shot, back on the front foot. And Moses looking for that big finish. He's looking for that showreel knockout, but he doesn't seem to be coming as yet. Oh, big uppercut! He's got it!
He has now! He was almost knocked unconscious on his feet by a massive left uppercut, then a right hand. Down went Franklin, and now Moses Itauma bows to his crowd, and that left uppercut, what a shot that was. Fabio Wardley's at ringside, he's on his feet, and he's applauding his man there as well, because that left uppercut was blindingly fast, right on the target, point of the chin, and Franklin was almost out on his feet.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Jermaine, Franklin is not happy. He got counted out then, but you saw what Moses Itauma done. A little nudge with the shoulder, whipped in the uppercut, and as quick as you like, come over the top of the hook, and both the shots landing more or less simultaneously, and knocked Jermaine Franklin flat on his face. The referee doing the right decision by stopping the fight. It was a bad knockout, but that's how I'm telling you how tough Jermaine Franklin is. He's arguing with every single person in there, saying it should not have been stopped. Good job, referee. Right stoppage.
I thought Steve Gray got that one right, Dave Allen. You know, I mean, that uppercut was startling. He was almost unconscious on his feet.
Brilliant shot. That was the perfect performance, really. Obviously, look back in a few things you probably think you can do better, but in terms of he got the round, he got pushed a little bit, probably not, didn't get pushed back really, but that was just a brilliant performance.
We watched again a replay, and the crowd saw that one as well. He was stunned in an immobile target. A massive right hand sent him crashing face first onto the canvas. Steve Gray was closer than anybody, and his reaction was instantaneous. The big and very experienced referee said, "That's it, that's enough."
I tell you what, that was an unbelievable stoppage there. Slowly, systematically broke a man down that no one has been able to do. Anthony Joshua, Dillian White included in that list as well. That was a chilling knockout, and you've got to let this kid off the leash now. It's got to be world titles next, because we're talking about giving him rounds. You can't find that guy to give him rounds, and it's going to be one of those. Like a Mike Tyson job, he's only going to get the rounds when he's boxing at that very elite level.
Fabio Wardley is defending against Daniel Dubois at the beginning of May. Surely that was the sort of gobsmacking performance which is going to demand that Itauma gets a chance against the winner.
I don't think the Wardley bout will happen due to the training stuff, but based on that performance, beating Franklin in better fashion than White and Joshua, with the White win already in his locker, I wouldn't begrudge him getting a world title fight next.
Adam, thoughts?
Listen, that was outstanding. I thought he tenderised Jermaine Franklin. He didn't rush it when he put him down in the third round. I thought he took his time. The use of feints was absolutely outstanding. His shot selection was great. He does love that nice long backhand to the body and then coming back up with the right hook. It was beautiful all night. Jermaine Franklin did everything that we wanted him to do. He took him a little bit longer, didn't he? But the way that he set that uppercut up was sensational. He framed off his right hand, just shoved him out a little bit, bang, up it went. Oh my days, that was absolutely brilliant. You wanted a statement, you got a statement. And for me, boys, listen, if Dubois beats Wardley, that's the fight, 100%. I agree with Dave, because of the being into the same stable, I don't think the Wardley thing will happen. If that's not the case and Wardley beats Dubois, I would push him towards Gassiev, who is the WBA, I think he's like the interim or the regular or whatever it is. I'd push him that way. Hopefully, by the end of the year, some of these belts are fragmented, because this boy's going to be in prime position to pick something up.
Can I throw another one out there as well? We don't know what's going to happen with this WBC title, Verhoeven. We know that Alexander Usyk's out there. You know, we know Ajit Kaviel.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official
We'll pick it up.
time.
Hold that thought,
1 minute 33 seconds of round number 5. Our referee in charge, Steve Gray, waves it off. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still WBA International and WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Moses Itauma!
As a performance, Dave, you can't really wish for any more there, can you? Because we've been used to him blowing people away in the first and second rounds. Franklin was brought in to give him more time in the ring. We got more time in the ring. All right, it's only 5 rounds, but he took his time with him. He had a good look at him, and when the moment came, he actually used a different part of the puzzle-solving process to get him out there. The long shots to the body and the right hook wasn't working, so he went in a little bit closer, framed off him, and then bang. Absolutely brilliant.
I think offensively, I think he's probably the best heavyweight we've seen since Mike Tyson. Wow, maybe I'm overdoing it, I'm not sure, but power, speed, variation, he's got it all. He's frightening to watch. I think, God, I would not want to box him. He's frightening. Defensively, I see holes there, but who's quick enough? Who can listen long enough to hit him back? Yeah, that's the question. Defensively, I do see gaps there, but you've got to get through what he's giving you. And Jermaine Franklin's the best at that, and he couldn't do it. So the only people that can give him a test are the world champions. Nobody else.
John, you've been covering this sport a very, very long time. Where does this kid rank?
He's immensely exciting, you know. I mean, I've tried, you've probably sensed, I've tried not to go too over the top with him, because you never really know about heavyweights at the highest level until they're in there in a fight which isn't going in their way. And when they're put under pressure, and it will happen, somebody somewhere down the line is going to give him a really, really difficult night. And then you learn how excellent a fighter may be. And he's not at that stage yet, nowhere near. But for a relatively novice young heavyweight, remember he's 21, he is a stunning talent.
He really is. He's addressing the crowd. Let's hear from him, shall we? He's Miadi Oladipo.
Picking up a win against Jermaine Franklin, I've done something that other British heavyweights that gone on to achieve great things didn't do, so I've got to give thanks to the Most High, and I've got to thank Jermaine Franklin as well for giving me this opportunity, because it takes two to tango, so I'm appreciative, man. Thank you very much, everyone.
How did you find it in there, Moses? Your last few fights haven't gone very, very long. The last one only went a minute or so. How did you find it in there going a few rounds with a guy that's never been stopped, a guy that came to fight again, a guy that was throwing hands with you as well?
Oh man, I don't know what to say. The Lord is good, huh? Listen, I tried to knock him out in the first and second round, trying to win some few people some dough, but I just feel like, maybe not today. So I went back to the basics, switch it, go down to the body, and then the knockout just came. So it's not the shots that you load up with, but it's the shot that you don't see.
We've not seen you in the ring for a while. The last time was August, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This must feel good to be back in the ring, to be back in the UK, where you're going to grow and grow and grow and eventually get to a stadium fight. It must be good to fight in front of your fans.
Listen, when I first turned professional, I thought I was able to win titles, but I didn't think that it's going to be so soon. So I'm just a young boy chasing a dream.
And we're chasing this dream with you, and it's good to follow it. When you knock out someone that's never been stopped before, Moses, you know what's going to happen. You know what people are going to start to say. Who next? That's why I'm in the ring to ask you, Moses. Francis, Frank, and everyone can gather. We can all gather around the table here.
Who's next? Who's next?
Who is next, Frank or Moses? Anyone can answer this question because they want to see something big. You've got the whole stable, Frank. Who next for this young man?
He'll be out again probably in July. And we'll be announcing some once we sit down, we look at a few things. He's #1 in the WBO, he's #1 in the WBA. So there's a lot of fights happening over the next few months, and we'll sort something out. Don't worry, it'll be a big, big fight because he's a big, big fighter. You know, so exciting. Fought a very, very tough guy, broke him down and did what nobody else has been able to do. You stop him.
The belts are all held up by two men, Alexander Usyk and Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley obviously takes on Daniel Dubois.
Hopefully going to get a little bit of time with Moses Itauma in a minute. I just want to cut away from it because Spencer Oliver is in the ring with a microphone and he's speaking to Ben Davison, Moses Itauma's trainer.
Yeah, I am with Ben Davison. Ben, firstly, what a performance.
Yeah, we was really happy with it. Again, when we said Jermaine Franklin would be able to bring rounds, we didn't say that because of the walking punch bag. No walking punch bag is going to go rounds with Moses Itauma. We said that because of his quality, and that's what people was missing. Maybe it was the way that we was articulating it, but he's a very, very good fighter. But that's nothing that we see that week in, week out, day in, day out at the gym, so we know what he's capable of. So when people talk about we want, the rounds, it was more so just for people to see he ain't a 1 or 2 round job, hype job. That was a steady breakdown job that finished with a spectacular knockout. Perfect.
Absolutely. Listen, it was exactly that, wasn't it? He went out there, he put the heat on him in the first couple of rounds, then he took his time, he was picking his shots, the game plan was perfect, and he'd done what no one else had done. Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte included there, and got rid of him inside the distance.
Yeah, and again, that's why we thought that Jermaine was the right opponent. He's a... like I said, he's a credible opponent. A lot of people thought we beat Dillian, and he's a top quality heavyweight. So, but his durability is second to none, being honest, in the heavyweight division. So really pleased to see a breakdown job, like I said, finish with a spectacular knockout.
Listen, you wanted the rounds. You got more rounds than we've seen in recent times with Moses Itauma, but now is time. You're not going to be able to hold him back. It is going to be kicking on. World titles. Frank Warren said that he wants to see that possibly this year. Could we get it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can get it. I mean, we'll see how the titles lie, obviously, with the Usyk situation and that, but yeah, we'll see.
What is the landscape, Ben? You know, because like you say, Alexander Usyk holding the cards there, but they will fragment, them titles will become vacant. And what do you see where is the roadmap for there?
I don't know. He's in a great position with 2 organisations, Fabio and Dubois boxing. Usyk said he'll fight the winner of that, so perhaps after that fight, we'll see a few things open up and see what happens.
Yeah, well, best of luck, mate, and brilliant performance tonight. Excellent game plan. Ben Davison there, guys, and back to you.
Cheers, Spence. Hopefully we'll get some words from Moses Itauma in a moment or two. He's still addressing the crowd with Adi Oladipo. We'll nip back into this and then we'll hopefully get a little bit for talkSPORT with Spencer Oliver.
I appreciate the support. Wasn't the first time, it's not going to be the last time.
Well done, Moses.
He's doing it in such an authentic way as well. Yes, all right, he isn't a crash bang wallop type of personality, screaming and shouting left, right and centre, but he's got an authenticity about him. A lot of fans are falling for him, and if he keeps performing like that, Dave, he's going to be gaining a lot of fans along the way, because at the end of the day, we're coming for knockouts and this boy's delivering them.
Yeah, the crowd and the numbers they've got in, the atmosphere, he's nearing superstar status now, I think. the whole country's starting to get behind him. The boxing fraternity anyway, I don't think he's quite crossed over yet, but he can't be far away. He's well on the way to being a superstar.
Obviously, we're getting carried away with ourselves, and we're listening to John Rowling there, a man that's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt across all these heavyweights that we refer to. He is a special talent. I think it's going to be nailed on that he's going to become a world champion at some point. How that happens, we don't know, because it is political and certain belts will get fragmented. There's going to be a point down the road where you're going to need that dance partner, aren't you, to be able to maybe define an era. Where is that person, John?
Well, that's a very shrewd observation, because all the great fighters, if you look back, as you say, they had a dance partner. You know, Muhammad Ali, you go right back there was Joe Frazier, there was George Foreman. You know, Lennox Lewis had Evander Holyfield and others. And Mike Tyson, he found, well, Lennox Lewis, didn't he?
Of course.
Evander Holyfield, of course, and going back, Buster Douglas, etc., etc. There needs to be somebody there to have a go and to make it count against him. At the moment, I can't see who it is. It's going to have to be somebody who's not only big and can take a shot, but they're going to have speed. They're going to have to match his boxing brain and his boxing speed. Because you heard Moses say there, the ones that take you are the ones that you don't see.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm sure, would agree with that.
Yeah. I think the current crop of heavyweights, as we look at them right now, I mean, it'd be interesting if it would be Daniel, it would be interesting if it would be Fabio. They're the younger end. We'll touch upon this a little bit more in a minute, because let's hear from him, because he's with Spencer Oliver right now. Here's Moses Itauma.
Yeah, guys, I am with Moses Itauma, and Ben Davison, I think, is just showing him that knockout. They were just looking at the knockout. Moses, I've got to say, first of all, mate, congratulations. What a performance.
Thank you very much, Spencer. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, talk me through that performance. You know, the guy was brought over to give you the rounds, to give you more rounds than more people have. Very tough, but you got rid of him in the end.
Nah, man, I'm appreciative. Like, I've been in camp for, 14 weeks, so I prepared very diligently for him. And, like, I know everybody was saying that I'm going to knock him out, but I can't believe that. I can't believe into the hype. I can't feed into it. I trained hard. I prepared for him diligently, and I got the knockout I trained for, not what I deserve, but what I trained for.
I know you don't like to get caught up in all the talk and all that, and you stick to the game plan, what you're doing, focusing on what you're doing. But Jermaine Franklin is that guy, never been stopped amateur pro. Anthony Joshua, Dillian White took him the distance, and you done what they couldn't do. That is making a statement.
Man, you make it sound good, man. You make it sound good.
Listen, you made it look good, and that's a fact. Let's talk about the knockout. I've got to tell, there you go. Let's talk about this. We're talking about heavyweight knockout.
Well, what happened was, I kept wanting to work on the inside, and the ref kept breaking us up. And I said to the ref, like, no, like, let me work on the inside. And then I just, like, Jermaine Franklin took a step back because he thought the referee was going to break it. I used that opportunity to thread one up the middle. So, listen. Like, it was part of the game plan, and we stuck to it.
Moses, it was the execution, though, the way you pushed through the shoulder, whipped the uppercut up, and more or less simultaneously whipped the hook over as well. I mean, speed, freakish speed for a heavyweight.
Thank you very much, Spencer. I appreciate it.
All right, just quickly, last one before you go. Look, you're knocking on the door now. It's going to be difficult to hold you back. You're world-ranked #1 in a lot of governing bodies. Where do you see the roadmap? World title this year, I don't know who it'll be, but world title shot.
Oh, man. Spencer, you know the boxing game. There's a pecking order I got to respect, and there's
there's people that I need to answer to. So when I get the world title opportunity, don't worry, I'm going to grab it with both hands.
Right, listen, Moses, wicked performance tonight, and I'm going to ask that question to your promoter, Mr. Frank Warren. Well done, Moses, brilliant. Frank, unbelievable. Oh, what can I say? I'm speechless. So are you.
No, look, he's tough. We know who he was in with, a tough guy, never been stopped. 4 years ago, AJ couldn't stop him. Gillian, 4 years ago, couldn't stop him. He was very patient. He took some really good shots, and you could see him a couple of times loading up to throw that right hand. He boxes well. He's got a good boxing brain. He does his work, gets out, and then comes back. He's back on you. But the shots were brilliant. Those 2 shots, he knocks him out with the first one, and the second caught him with another hard shot going down. Face down, and the corner are screaming that he shouldn't have been stopped. They're nuts.
Yeah, look, you talk about wanting rounds. He got more rounds than what we've seen in recent times, but it was the execution, it was the patience, it was the whole thing in there. You go like, who's going to be that guy that's going to give him the rounds before he gets there?
I'm telling you, he will fight for a world title this year. That will happen. He's #1 in the WBO, #1 in the WBA, and there will be a world title fight.
What will that be for a vacant title, Frank? Surely those titles are going to have to fragment because Alexander Usyk won't be able to fulfil those mandatories, will he?
He's either going to have to defend his belts or vacate, and that's his choice. He vacated the WBO. That's why we got the great fight on May the 9th with Fabio and Daniel Dubois. That's where we're at, and no one's forcing him to give up the belts. You give up the belts because you don't want the fight. It's as simple as that.
All right, let me give you this scenario. Say May the 9th. Let's say that Daniel Dubois, I know he wouldn't box Fabio Wardley because they're in the same gym, so that's very complicated. Let's say Daniel Dubois won that fight. Would that be a fight that you'd be happy to make next for Moses Itauma?
May get ordered. Who knows? He's #1 in the WBO, and it's been no mandatory yet.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time in the heavyweights. You have a lot of those, and we've got some great fights coming up.
Very interesting scenario, and we will see what happens.
But if the opportunity come up, you would now say Moses Itauma, you'd put him next?
Say that again?
If the opportunity for a world title come up, would you put a Moses Itauma in there next off that performance?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to see tonight, is where we were. Look, he's 21, just turned 21. That was his 14th fight.
Listen, it's a brilliant start.
Think about it, his 14th fight at that age.
Frank, it's a brilliant start of heavyweight season on DAZN and live on talkSPORT as well. What a time we've got here.
We've got a great time. All these great fights that Queensbury are delivering to talkSPORT. We need to up the money.
Frank, I need talkSPORT on all of those, and then hopefully we can all get a pay rise.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Well, that's Mr. Frank Warren. Back to you guys.
I agree with whatever Frank just said there about money getting raised up. Top stuff. And it is a great season for heavyweight boxing. Obviously, we've got some crackers on the way, but we've witnessed something very, very special there. As Frank was talking and Spence was talking and what have you, before we went over there, we were talking about those era-defining moments. And listen, it might come from the guys that are out there right now with the Adric Carbayels, who's a fantastic talent. Maybe he's not getting his opportunity. It might be that for Moses. He might give him the double headers, the trilogies, those types of knocks. It might come from Daniel, it might come from Fabio. I've got one for you, and this is left field, right? I'm going to chuck it right out there. What about your mate? What about your mate, Pat Brown?
Brown, yeah.
Moving up. He's a little bit older than him, isn't he?
It's about 26, Patrick, yeah. I saw him come on there about boxing next Friday, and I thought, Pat Brown could be the guy. Pat Brown could knock an house down, honestly. Pat Brown, Itauma, yeah. Leo Tang. Demar Thomas, not even turned pro yet.
There's talent there, isn't there?
And that's just in the UK.
Yeah, there is talent there. It's just hopefully somebody can live with this kid because he is absolutely sensational. Moving like a middleweight and knocking him out with blistering hand speed. Sensational from Moses Itauma. Getting the job done against Jermaine Franklin. The noise pre-fight was all about the barometer. He's been in with AJ, he's been in with Dillian White, he's gone the distance with these people. What can Moses Itauma do to him? Well, Moses Itauma can pepper him, season him, and then take him out in 5 rounds with some sensational shot selection. A little earlier on in the night, it didn't go well for Nathan Heaney. He fell short to Jerome Warburton. Jerome Warburton will move on to something special. Nathan Heaney announced that he'll probably have one more in stoke in front of the fans before he calls time on a career where he probably exceeded a lot of expectations, not only for himself, but most certainly for the fans, as he became British champion in Manchester 2.5 years ago. It wasn't his night tonight. Jerome Warburton will be the guy that moves on. We had a good one between Ezra Taylor and Willy Hutchinson, and when I say a good one, I mean good performance. Willy Hutchinson, too slick, too cute, too good for Ezra Taylor. He'll learn a lot from that as he loses his undefeated record, but it's Willy Hutchinson who is now calling for world honours. Don't know whether it'll be a Bivol or Viterbi, but who knows? We've got a great fight coming up in a couple of weeks with Callum Smith taking on David Morrell. Can Willy Hutchinson get into that mix? Maybe a rematch Buwatsi down the line. He was absolutely fantastic tonight, showing his boxing prowess, and most certainly moving on to another absolute cracking fight. Brad Pauls probably pulled out the moment of the night, bar Moses Itauma, of course, because he was well behind on the scorecards with Shaquille Thompson, but then he found it in the 9th round, stopping Shaquille Thompson and delivering one of the best knockouts of the year so far. Fantastic performance. We've had a good night here in Manchester. Of course, lots of talking points. The Magnificent Seven once again delivered as heavyweight season gets underway. Some of these big fights are going to have to go some performance-wise to show us something more than what Moses Itauma has showed us tonight. But what we do know is that the heavyweight division is in good hands, it's in Great Britain, and it's on talkSPORT.